lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Jeremy Lee in the building and every guest that you ever needed. Sports cards after hours keep the hobby heated. Updates, hobby talk like you never seen it. Sports cards live and none could ever beat it. Sports cards is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Welcome to another episode of Sports Cards Live with your host, Jeremy Lee.
All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the August 2023 PWCC Premier Auction Ending Live Watch Party. My name is Jeremy Lee. It is Thursday night, August the 24th, 2023, and we have a big show tonight. We got a great auction, plenty of items, 147 items on the block tonight, ending on the Premier platform. But before we get too far into it, let's bring out my co-host. You know him, you love him, Mr. Adam Gray. Welcome back, buddy. How are you?
I'm awesome. We said when we met a little bit before show, like we didn't get to do this last month. It was the first time we haven't really gotten to do any part of it in like 2 years. And I missed it, man. It's good to be back.
I missed it too. You know, it's funny because it's like I missed doing it with you, yet we were together at the National. Got to see each other a few times in person for the first time in 3 years, although it feels like we hang out all the time, which we do. And, you know, listen, it was great to see you. It's I'm fortunate to call you a friend and to have you as a co-host for this. And so, yeah, man, it was great to see you. I did miss doing the episode with you, but it ended on the Thursday of National. So it just wasn't going to logistically work out. But I know it was a great auction, and we have a big auction tonight. And just to really, you know, get it out there in case anybody doesn't know, I personally have 10 items ending in the auction tonight myself, and I'm gonna tell you what they are and maybe tell a short story about them. If I have a story about them, some I do, some not as interesting, but all 10 really cool cards. So out of the 147 items, 10 of them are consigned by myself. So that's kind of cool, and that's a big chunk of them.
I have to ask you, I know that, I mean, obviously since then the Premier, there are 10 big items. I know what the items are, but it doesn't seem like it's very often that you've had to move items this big. So are these like 10 of the biggest items you've ever moved? And do you want to, I mean, maybe now's the time, maybe now, maybe not, maybe you don't want to share this, but you want to share why you're moving 10 cards of this magnitude at this time?
I mean, listen, I'm moving them for personal reasons, for family reasons, as you know, but everyone's happy, everyone's healthy, relationships are intact. It's just, I'm doing it as a family move for my family. And listen, I still have a lot of good cards. I still have a lot of cards that I love. And, you know, one of the things about it is that, for example, the Jambalaya 9.5, I'm going to look to replace that one day. I'm going to look to replace that, but in lower grade. You know, same with a few others that I will miss. But it's just no, it's a personal decision I made with my family, and I'm going to leave it at that. You know, that's enough information on the why, but the what and any stories behind them, I'm happy to really happy to get into that. Another interesting thing though about this auction is a big Ohtani up there, and we just heard some Ohtani news that is, you know, that's something where wonder what that impact, what impact that will have on the Ohtani items on the auction block tonight. So we will find out in due course here. Anything else before we go to the comments, Adam?
Well, just on the Ohtani real quick, there are like 4 or 5 cards in this auction that I've gotten the most sort of DMs on, people asking me things like, you know, what do you think this will sell for? What do you think about this card? I always have a take on a card, whether I love it or what I think about it. But the Ohtani is one of them. And then you're right, the news, the injury, and the question, the injury makes it such an interesting moment because it's one of the biggest Ohtani cards out there, right? It's a very highly desired card. I think it was going to really explode in this auction. That was the sense that I had. And now the injury puts that into question. And now I think people, you know, you have to figure out whether this is an opportunistic moment or whether it's not a good moment because of how severe the injury is or isn't. And those moments in time sort of like, it really could go one way or the other. We could look back at what it sells for tonight and say that was the best deal ever, or maybe it's the beginning of like a really bigger Ohtani blow up. I have no idea. But I do know that I love that card.
Yeah, with the kanji autograph. I saw you talking about it. It is very cool. And like, if you are somebody who has Ohtani cards and you're thinking, oh, I got to dump them off now, I don't know if that's the right move myself. I mean, this might be a buying opportunity. I'm not saying tonight, but over the next few weeks, months, if he's not going to play out the rest of the season, if he has to not play next season, and I heard that from one person. I don't know if that's true or not, but let's say that's the case. Now you've got all of a sudden maybe an 18-month window to buy Ohtani cards and then see what he does when he comes back. It's really interesting to see. Really interesting to see what's going to happen.
And I heard that he's going to keep hitting, right? So I don't know. Like, he said that he wanted to come back in the game. I don't know. I didn't follow the story perfectly well. My first thought, honestly, was probably the same as yours. Was like, oh my goodness, that kanji auto is ending at the same time as this is happening. But yeah, we don't know what's going to happen, but we know that it's definitely a big moment.
It's a big moment for sure. All right. Well, we're going to have a fun show tonight. Extended bidding starts in 23 minutes, everybody. And you can go to PWCCMarketplace.com to see all these items that are ending. You can bid on them there. All access extended bidding. You do not need to have a bid in on an item to place a bid. After the 22-minute mark from now has passed, that is when extended bidding does start. Let's say hello to Jake Dahl. What's going on? Fan123 says Ohtani cards are going to crush if he signs with the Angels. Brent Wire in the house, Mr. Deep Value Investor. Good to see you, Brent. Well, Will S., hello to you. Name from Indigenous Rookie Cards, Scott Pope. Favorite Thursday night. We feel the same way, Scott. So glad to have you with us. Card Guy 72. How are you? What is the significance of 72, Card Guy? Let us know. I'm curious. John says Brian Gray has left Leaf. I've heard rumors for the past couple hours now that Brian Gray has left Leaf and gone to Fanatics. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm sure we'll find out more in the next few hours, if not minutes. Todd McDonald, good evening to you. We're happy to be back for sure. The Currency Project in the house. Good to see you, fellas. Guy can't catch a break. Talking about Ohtani. Hopefully he recovers swiftly and has a long career. Yeah, here to that comment right there. Brent says now is not the time to buy an unlicensed Ohtani. Will says, I always stayed away from Ohtani because of his age. Sadly, my instincts were right. I mean, who knew this was coming? But we'll see. We'll see what happens down the road for sure. It's a tough break for him. Definitely. Cardboard Richard, I will be seeing you at the Burbank show, everybody. I will be at the Burbank show. Are you coming, Adam?
Man, I wish. I'll probably see it next year's National, not before then.
Well, I will be there. Sorry you won't be there. Looking forward to it. Anyone who's watching right now, listening, if you're going to be there, make sure you say hello. Let's have a chat. Show me your pickups. I'd love to see what people pick up at the card shows. Should be a great show. All right, let's go into screen share mode, everybody. And here we go. So I actually, Adam, this is going to be a surprise, but I switched to 96 items. So we're 2 screens for this for tonight. Should get us through them. Card Guy says it was the year I was born, but I can't remember. That's what I was wondering, Card Guy, because that's my birth year as well. So nice to share a birth year with you. So right off the hop here, we've got 2 PMG red basketball cards, 2 of the biggest names in the set, perhaps the second and third. Maybe you've got Jordan, you got Shaquille, you got Kobe, you got Duncan. I think that's the big 4, is it not, Adam?
I would put, Kobe's clearly 2. There's no question about that. But I think third is probably pretty debatable. But I think I would go with Duncan personally too, because it's the rookie year. And yeah, I think it's a good call.
Yeah. Fair enough. And the Duncan is a BGS 8. It's a nice looking card. You can see some edge wear like we expect on PMGs. I kind of want a little bit of that on my PMGs these days. And then the Kobe is an authentic altered copy. It's at $70,000. And that's a nice healthy number. Maybe it'll get some more bids. We will see. Adam, do you have any feel as to where you think the Kobe and the Duncan, for that matter, like when you saw these hit at the beginning, did you have a thought like, I think Kobe's going to do this and Duncan that?
So much of this is still very contingent on grade. And it surprises me because I always think about the cards like this from this era being like less sort of like affected by grade. When I look at that Kobe though, the way that my first thought on it honestly was like I was at the National and there was a 97 Rubies. This is a significantly more valuable card than that, and the 97 Rubies was like 90 grand. And then I know there are some PMG championships in higher grade that have moved around like 150. I thought that the red would be a little bit higher than that, but it is altered. And to me, and it's gonna sound crazy, Jeremy, but like, I just love the card and would actually love to buy an altered copy because it's probably the lowest, the lowest amount that I'd have to pay to get the card. But so the long answer to your question, I have no idea like what this thing will do tonight, but I know there's several big guys that are sort of looking at it, and it's going to be very interesting to see what it does.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I got to wonder what's the alteration. I really wish that was something that was available, because that could sway people's decisions as to what is the altered state of it. And do you know? Do you happen to know?
I would say so. I've actually have two quick thoughts on this. Number one is a lot of times on these you see either cards that are both trimmed or cards that are recolored. And unlike most cards, there's actually recoloring that happens not just on the edges, but on the inside of the card on these. That's sometimes super difficult to detect, unlike the edge. And so, that could be a thing. But the other thing is I have a friend who messaged me who said, now you and I both know that card's not actually altered, right? And I was like, I don't know anything about that. And he said, well, a lot of times these cards have been cut short and a lot of them have been labeled altered that aren't really. I don't really know, Jeremy. I have no idea. What I do know is it's a beautiful copy. It's one of the most recognizable Kobe cards in his career. It certainly is most recognizable non-rookie. I probably would say it's probably his second most iconic card next to the 96 Chrome. And so, it's a super in-demand card. And like I said, it'll be interesting to see what it does.
Yeah, I heard the same thing, that this isn't actually altered, and I just heard, so don't take that as truth. That's what I heard. And who knows, though? Who knows? Brent says Unreal, an altered card is at $70K. And Joe wishes everybody good luck tonight, buyers and sellers. Thank you, Joe. Fan123 says recoloring is a no-go. Cutting, not such a big deal to me. All right, let's go on. Tom Brady, playoff contenders championship ticket out of 100, autographed, BGS 8. The autograph is at 10, sitting at $160,000. This is the championship ticket out of 100. I gotta think this has to go up, because weren't these selling for like $1.5 million or something like that, not more than a couple of years ago? Now that was then, this is now. We all get that, but talk about a discount and a card available for a fraction of the price that it used to be. Adam, we have a Charizard first edition holo shadowless. This is the one that people thought was going to be $1 million cards a few years ago, and looks like it's still in that 200 to 250 level. We'll see where this one ends, but certainly an important card in the world of trading cards. One of my favorite vintage cards, Adam, the 53 Topps Mickey Mantle. This is a beautiful PSA 8. Let's just take a quick look at this one, because when you can have a look at one of these cards, when you see one of these and the red is mostly intact, I mean, that's where your eyes go first. But look at this thing. The centering is beautiful. The color, the print, bold, bright, sharp, good registration. I mean, the only thing I see about on this card that might be like kind of is this little spot here. A little bit of surface wear, or not a solid print job right there. But like, this corner is really nice. It's not perfect, but it's really nice. The bottom edge is almost perfect. Hard to see the bottom corner behind the PSA logo there, so I can't really speak to that. Right edge is nice. Top right corner, very nice. Not perfect, but very nice. And same thing with the top left. Top edge, beautiful. That's a stunner of a card, in my opinion. And then a Babe Ruth 1923 W575 hand cut. It's got the top 15% eye appeal assessment from PWCC. That is exceptional. It's a pop 1 of 1, none higher. I mean, this is a card for, this is a special card if it's a 1 of 1, none higher. And look at this. Look at that of the Babe. I mean, this is playing days, everybody. That is a beautiful image of him, black and white, little sepia tone perhaps there. What do you think of some of these cards we've just run through, Adam?
Well, the Charizard is an important moment for the world of Pokemon. Every time one of those moves, it's a big deal. The mantle is a big deal for the world of vintage high grade, right? And we've seen some really astronomical high grade prices recently. And the Ruth is the one that is the most interesting to me because, as you pointed out, it's the highest graded of a playing days card. Now, maybe it's not as well known as some of his playing days cards, but like, you know this, like a lot of Babe's big time cards from his playing days, we don't know because there's so few of them. The thing that maybe you don't feel the same way. I don't want to speak for you on this, but it's a hand cut card. It's a card that was, you know, that you were able to take and cut out yourself as the sort of person who found it. And to me, those aren't always the most interesting. Having said that, the fact that it's the nicest in the world sort of overrules that for me. And whenever the nicest copy of anything significant comes up, it's an item you want to watch because that's when two people really can go at it. So I think that one will be one tonight that we want to sort of keep an eye on and see what happens.
Yeah, great comments. I'll say the fact it's hand cut does not bother me personally at all. That's the only way to get it. And I would say for me, the better the frame was cut by the person who cut it off the panel or from the box or whatever it was on. I just say thank you for doing a great job and for, you know, preserving and creating this piece that can now be passed from person to person throughout the rest of history, collector to collector. Really cool piece right there. We have a Erling Haaland. This is the red refractor out of 10, population 4 at $38,000 from 2019. We've got a gold vinyl Patrick Mahomes out of 5, Panini Prism. This is a special card, Adam. I mean, this might be my favorite Mahomes rookie, and I hadn't really noticed it. I've seen them before, but I haven't really noticed it until right now. But I like gold vinyl. I like the Golden Treasures, the hockey version in O-Pee-Chee. I like the Superfractor versions that you get in Topps. This is a nice looking card, and if it was in my wheelhouse, this might be the Mahomes that I'd want in my collection because I just think it's a stunner of a card. And then we got the Hemmett's Journal, Cassius Clay. You know him as Muhammad Ali, and a PSA 9. This is another hand cut card, if we can call it a card. It's very thin, like paper thin. Population 11, 1 PSA 10 does exist. This one has the MBA, the Mike Baker authenticated eye appeal sticker of the silver sticker at $42,000 right now. Adam, any comments on these 3 cards?
Well, I think we're on the 3rd or the 4th row now, right? Is it the 3rd or the 4th total row that we're on? Third. These are these are huge cards for each of their sectors within the hobby. Haaland is probably the guy along with Mbappe as far as like big time modern soccer guys. And you said this is out of 10. Is it out of 10? Is that right? Like that's a huge card. The Mahomes, Prism is certainly his most recognizable like non-NT rookie card. And this, other than the black, is the rarest one. And then as far as the Cassius Clay goes, like Jeremy, there's only one graded higher than that. And that's the only boxing card that made the iconic 100 list. It's a huge card. And so we're on row 3 and we're still just in like uber high end territory.
Yeah, that's a beauty right there. That's a stunner of a card. I'd like to grab a low grade at some point in my collecting career. Here's the Shohei, the Kanji auto that we talked about earlier, number 3 of 99. And it's an exquisite tribute design from 2018 Goodwin Champions, PSA 8. The auto is a 10. Let's take a closer look at this just to show off that autograph. And I think we've seen this card with his English autograph and his Kanji autograph. It seems like maybe the first 10 were signed this way and the rest were signed in English. Is that our understanding, Adam?
Yeah. So this is one of the cards of the night that I want to sort of like focus in on the most because I've done quite a bit of research on it. And so if you haven't watched the reel, I created a reel. It's on my Instagram. Go to @thereal27guy and go watch it. But I had some additional information come out after I posted that. So what I did, Jeremy, is I went out and I found every serial number of this card that I could find. And I found 4 in the top 10. And then the next one that I found was number 17. And then like 20 more cards between 17 and 100. Everything that I found in the top 10 was kanji, and everything from 11 to 100 was not kanji. Right. If you look at the signature itself, by the way, those first 2 characters are O and Tani, And then the last two characters are Show and Hey. That's how the name's written out. It's super cool. Obviously it took a really long time. His normal autograph's actually really awesome too, but the fact that this card, that he deliberately signed 10 of them, and it is 10 because, and this is what I haven't told anybody yet, you're the first person I've told this, somebody on my post, Jeremy, posted number 11. And number 11 is signed with his standard autograph. I couldn't find it anywhere. He had number 11, and he had another one in the top 10 that is kanji. 11's got the standard autograph. His other one in the top 10 has the kanji. That really confirms it. 1 to 10 is kanji, and Upper Deck has never released anything on this. So this is kind of, I mean, it's like big time information. It's really important. 1 to 10 is kanji. And, you know, I know Brent mentioned, you know, probably not the time to buy an autographed Shohei that's not licensed. I totally get that. But I would say, this is the thing I'd say about this. I'm not close to baseball, right? I'm not. It's never been my sport. Shohei's one of the first guys, one of the only guys in the last 30 years that I can say, he's even a guy that brings like non-baseball guys, you know, to the plate to say, hey, this might be something that I want to get in on, because what he's doing, where he's from, all of it, the way that it all comes together, it's really special. And so the injury happening at the same time as this card selling is really, I think it's really unfortunate, because it doesn't really show the real exuberance that the hobby has had for him. But yeah, just 10 of them. Sweet card.
We've got a Pele, the Aquarella PSA 5, another card that I love. I love this one. This would be my favorite Pele card. There's the other smaller one, I forget what it's called, that has his name on the front. This one doesn't have the name on the front, but I love, this is the one that I would choose, but I'd be like a PSA 1 or 2 probably to get into one. This does have the exceptional eye appeal rating, top 15% as well. So a beautiful, beautiful piece. And we have PSA 9, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, rookie with Dr. Julius Erving in the middle with the above average eye appeal rating by PWCC again. So a very, very nice copy, currently at $12,000, $8,250 on the Pele, and the kanji Shohei is currently at $23,500. Next row, 3 football cards. We've got a National Treasures, Tua Tagovailoa. I think I said it right. His RPA at a 99. It's a PSA 10, 6 in the population. A nice 3-color patch here, on-card autograph. But this is the one that I really like. This. It's got a bit of a faded autograph, so make sure you look at that if this is the card you want. You're at least aware of it if you're bidding. Right there, autograph seems to be fading a little bit. Number 12 at 25 makes it the gold version. It's a parallel of the 2005 SP Authentic, Rookie Authentics autograph patch card, BGS 9. The autograph, I wonder if it's graded on the back. I'm not sure.
It is.
Do you know what it's graded?
I don't, but it's definitely graded on the back. I think it's a 10, because I don't think it's the bottom.
Well, let's have a quick look. We'll open it up very quickly here and see what the autograph graded out on the back. It is a 9. It's a 9. So the autograph is, I would say appropriately graded as not being a 10, considering the fade. And however, that actually might have the 9 autograph, because no, the autograph is completely on the card. It ends just short of the bottom. So it must be just the state of the autograph itself. So keep that in mind. We're at $12,500. And then we have the cousin to the championship ticket up above, another Tom Brady playoff contenders autograph rookie card. This one is not numbered. The autograph is a 10. The card is a BGS 9. And just to contrast it to the champ ticket right up here, it's at $160,000 in an 8, while the non-champ ticket version, the non-numbered, is at $24,000 in a 9. So, an opportunity to get. First of all, you can buy the champ ticket for a fraction of what it's sold for in the past, like 10%. But for about 20% of that, you can also buy one without numbering and still get what is a beautiful, beautiful card. Continuing with football, we have this is the Joe Burrow 2020 National Treasures RPA out of 99. It's an SGC 10 with the autograph also getting a 10. Nice 3-color patch with some nice angle to it. And a Messi. This card, I wonder, with all the hype on Messi right now playing in Miami, is is this card like gonna peak right now? You know, in the last year or so, because of how he is like this goat that does not get old. I wonder. Adam, what do you think on any of these sort of 5 cards we've run through?
The only one that I want to make sure that we hit, you already touched on it a little bit, but the Rodgers is jersey numbered. And so when you think about it being one of his best cards and the best serial number of that, to me, I'd like to see this find the home that's like in the super uber crazy, Rodgers fan collection where it just never goes anywhere. That's the great thing about a card like that, is it feels more like a one of one than it does sort of any other copy. So that's where I hope that one goes tonight, but no comments on the rest of them.
Hi, Frankie. What's going on? Good to see you, buddy. Fan123 says Brady's a bargain at that price. 20 to 40 years from now, easily a million a piece for the out of 100. Time will tell. We can't say that for sure, but time will definitely tell. Cage Lawyer Minion in the house. What's going on? Yeah, glad you tuned in. Irving Manera in the house, everybody. Good evening, Irving. Always good to see you. Always good to see you. CC, what's going on? All items do end at the same time in the Premier Auction. That is correct. Justin Bode, good to see you on Emma's phone. Thanks for joining us for sure. Thanks for joining us. Will S says, I find the jersey number thing very gimmicky. Yeah, some do. I'm a big fan of it myself. I think it adds another level of rarity, and I just like that match. I think it's a cool thing for me. 2012 Panini Prism basketball sealed case. Adam, you think there's a gold prism in there? Maybe another Kobe?
There's probably 2 to 3 gold prisms in there. That's how much less of the product was made in 2012 as today, right? It's way harder to find a gold today than it was back then because there was so little of it produced. That's also the reason why there's so few of these out here. I don't know. Obviously, I have no idea, no way to know how many cases there are, Jeremy, but would it shock me to know that there's like 10 to 15 cases left in the world of this product? It wouldn't. And I've said this before, if there is one case from the entire Panini era, which seems like there's a good chance that we're going to see come to a screeching halt here, like that's the case. That's the product of the era. It's the first prism. It's, we could go on and on about it, but the joke that I made about this one is I've got the Steph gold. I've got the Kobe gold. I'd really, really like to add the LeBron, which is the best gold of the whole set. And so if anybody opens it and they find a LeBron gold, I'm not hard to find.
Let him know. Let him know. Here's a select sealed case as well. Same rookie selection. First year of select, I believe. So you can pick up those 2 cases and put them away. That's pretty awesome. We've got a 96 finest gold refractor Kobe. One of the most beautiful Kobe cards on the planet right here. This is a PSA 10, currently sitting at $16,500. Now, Adam, did this card come with peel? So this is a peeled copy, no peel. Sorry, yeah, this is the no peel copy. I think it's a lot nicer this way. Some people like the peel. I like no peel. It looks just that much nicer. And a Tiger Woods SP Authentic rookie card auto at a 900. This is a great card. It's $17,000 right now as we sit. 900 copies produced. This is a Gem Mint 10. Let's have a quick look at that autograph. See what kind of condition it is in. And it's almost perfect. It's got a bit of a fade right there. I'm not sure what's going on over here, if that might be on the holder, because if this is a PSA 10, I can't imagine this is on the card, but don't hold me to that. It might be on the card. I just don't know. Yeah. But the autograph is really nice outside of this little spot right here, but wouldn't bother me too much if this was in my collection at all.
Sometimes the 360 really helps you and we shouldn't do it here because it ties up our bandwidth. But if you're looking at that Tiger and you say, I want to know if that's on the case, I'd take a good look at the 360, and I think you'll probably be able to discern it from that. And I agree with you.
Probably on the case. Really good suggestion. Anyone watching, if you're thinking about putting a bid on this and you want to see what's going on with that little blemish there, if you can just determine from the 360, it's a great feature that PWCC has. Go check that out and kind of have a look for yourself. Let us know what you find. By the way, extended bidding is now happening. What that means is if any items do not receive a bid in the first, and I'm seeing a 5-minute clock. I believe that should be a 30-minute clock right now. Adam, I'm not sure. I think the first half hour is is the first level is the first 30 minutes. If there are no bids placed, then the whole auction ends, but there will be bids placed. If it's a 5-minute window, then same rule applies.
The great thing, Jeremy, is that whether it's 5 minutes or 1 minute or 30 minutes, at this point, there's so many bids coming in, as you can see in the bottom left of Jeremy's screen. Bid, bid, bid. We're not going 5 minutes without a bid at this point. What time do we start getting nervous that the auction might end? Is it like in an hour or an hour and a half from now?
It's a couple more hours from now.
Yeah,
Usually
we got some time.
Yeah, we got time for sure. We have a BGS 9.5 Michael Jordan 86 Fleer rookie card. This is a true gem. All 4 subgrades are 9.5. It's at $40,000 right now. I'm gonna just open this guy up quickly and take a peek at it. Yeah, I mean, top edge looks at that's fray right there. I don't mind fray. Left edge has some fray, but very nice. Left bottom corner looks good. Bottom edge looks good. Bottom right corner might have a touch of white showing. It's minor, but there is a touch of white showing there. The right edge, it's got a little bit of edge chipping right there, but it's quite minor. You come up the top, some fray, and then the top right corner looks pretty good to me. This is a BGS 9.5 true gem copy. We've got the PMG Green Captain America, one of my son's favorite superheroes, BGS 8, and a Tony Hawk, guys. This is his SI for Kids from 1990 rookie card. This is the PSA 10. Only 3 in the population. Huge. This is a really cool card. $6,000 right now. There was a time I think 9s were doing close to $6,000. So pretty cool. Adam, any comments on these, maybe on the Jordan specifically?
Well, I love the Jordan. It's a great card. The Tony Hawk actually stands out to me because I subscribed to SI for Kids in 1990. I was 7 years old and probably had this card. But the way that card to be a 10 in 2023, it seems like it's next to impossible. I think that's a card, Jeremy, that we actually had on the ballot for the Iconic 100 because it's a card that represents sort of a whole sector of sport. You don't see a lot of like X Games type cards, and Tony Hawk is the notable guy, is the guy that we all know from that world. I can't believe 3 is such a small number on that card. It'll be interesting to see what that one does tonight too.
Fan123 says Captain America will be worth a ton when Marvel Universe War movie comes out many years from now. Cage Lawyer Minion needs a Tony Hawk. You guys like these are some killer cards. All right, couple of football cards now. We've got an NT Green Lamar Jackson, 8 copies made on card auto. Crazy patch. Let's open this up and take a quick look at this patch because it's just, look at that. Ravens right there. Beautiful patch on this card. We've got a Stars and Stripes Lamar Jackson. This is the version out of 15. Also with I got to think it's the same consigner on these two who had them both. I love this card because you can tell it's got a bit of an acetate coating to it, which you can tell in the ink on the autograph. I love that finish and that touch when you have the acetate like that. And then in 2020, Topps Chrome F1 Lewis Hamilton out of 58. So this is a interesting card right there. Take a look at the auto on this guy. He has a nice tight little autograph right there. Keeps it really small on the sticker. He's never going to go off sticker. That's for sure. Very nice card from the inaugural issue of Topps Chrome F1. But yeah, these Lamar patches are just ridiculous. This is a BGS 9.5 true gem, meaning all 4 subgrades are 9.5s, while the Stars and Stripes here is a BGS 8. But it doesn't look like, corners are a 7.5. Let's open this up one more time to get these subgrades correct. Corner 7.5, surface and edges are 9, and centering's a 9.5. So it's the corners that hurt the card, and I just don't see it on the front here. Why they're so low? I'm not saying it's not there. Maybe it's this top right here or something, but looks pretty darn good for me for the grade. That's an opportunity I think it's an opportunity to get in on a card that is like, who cares that the grade is low because of a corner that might be on the inside of the card or on the back. That's
another one. So I'm curious on this, Jeremy. I got to ask you this question. The Stars and Stripes you said is out of 15. Am I right?
Yeah.
And then the green is out of 8. Is 8 his jersey number? It's probably his jersey number. That's why it's numbered to that number. So
it is.
The one that's out of 8 has like a green foil. It's a regular foil. It's not hollow. The Stars and Stripes, as you point out, is on acetate, and it has that hollow foil around the patch window and throughout the card.
One of my cards just got a bid right here. That's one that I own. I got to call it out. I mean, it's fun for me to see.
I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle of the thought. I'm about to get to the question. No, I'm just kidding. I'm teasing.
Oh, that was going to disappear.
By the way, we need to talk way more about your cards. We haven't talked about them once yet.
Yeah, we're going to move on. Get your question out. Then let's move on.
So the question is, you look at those two cards. If you got to pick one of those two, which one would you take?
I like the one out of 15. I just like the card better.
I do too, but I love rarity and I love stuff that's out of the jersey number. And to me, that's where it's stuck.
Another bid on one of my cards. I like to see that. All right. We got a beautiful, this is not one of mine, a beautiful Michael Jordan, Ultra Stars Gold, PSA 9. Love this card. Pop 7, 5 10s in the pop. So you're getting a PSA 9, but you're still getting one of the top 12 copies as per PSA's grading opinion for this card. And I can tell you, I own a Shaquille O'Neal of this card. It's like, I love it. It's so nice. This is such a beautiful card. Another bid on one of my cards I'm seeing come through. So thank you to everybody who's bidding on my 10 cards in this auction. But of course, thanks to all the bidders on these auctions. Makes it a lot of fun. Let's Shohei right here. We've talked a lot about Shohei. A chrome blue refractor, a Bowman chrome blue refractor out of 150. They're both out of 150. One's a 10-10 pitching pose. This is a single 10 on the card. Batting pose, 27.5 here, $32,000 here. A Tua NT Stars and Stripes would make a great pair with the Lamar up here from the same set. Beautiful card. Yeah, I love these Stars and Stripes, Adam. I just love them. 52 tops. Mickey Mantle in a PSA 3 at 44. Trevor Lawrence, first off the line. National Treasure, Stars and Stripes. This is the blue out of 10. And an unopened box of 03 Topps Chrome Basketball, where you can find none other than a LeBron James rookie card, a chrome, a refractor, a black refractor, a gold, all sorts of great cards in there. All right, we're gonna scroll to a couple of Jordans here. We've got the dual numbers, MJ and LeBron out of 23. Beautiful card, 2 autos. Nice 2-color patch on LeBron, 1 color on MJ. This is at $65,000. It's a BGS 9. And I mean, any MJ LeBron dual auto patch is a winner for sure. Exquisite quad patch MJ. 1 of 1. Is that? Yeah, this is a 1 of 1 card. Not because of the grade, everybody. This is a 1 of 1 masterpiece, which is, I think, PWCC lingo for meaning only copy ever made. It says it right here. Really, really cool at $97.50. Adam, really quick, are there more of these kind of 1-of-1 masterpiece patch Jordans from Exquisite, or is this like the only one from 2004?
So you're really catching me with a tough question here. I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's a vertical and a horizontal version of the card. And so I think there's just 2. There might be a third. There's definitely some that have like 3 patches that are out of 10, but I didn't notice that this was a 1 of 1 until you called it out. I want to go back to the previous card though. That dual number pieces of LeBron and MJ, that's one of the cards of the night to watch. Every time we see one of these pop up, they only did these for a few years. Every time one pops up, the dual number pieces, it's a big deal. So watch that.
Deal, huh? Frankie lets us know there is a few others, but that one with 4 patches is insane. Thank you, Frankie, for helping us out. And it just got a bid to $10,500. We've got a Tom Brady Super Bowl. Now, this autograph is definitely faded. Now, let's just see what's going on here. So the autograph is authentic. The card is an 8. But that autograph it's going invisible pretty much. It might not go totally. This is the end of its life, though, for this autograph here. 150 copies made, though. This is number 18. And this is not, if you don't mind that, this is an opportunity to get one of these cards for probably a lot less than if this autograph was still bold. So keep that in mind.
so few of those, Jeremy, so few of those are blue. Like I've seen, they made this set for several years. And when I was going into PWCC and like holding the cards and doing the videos, like I got to see probably 10 or 15 of these. Very few of them have really nice autographs. And so I don't know if it was something that Topps did with the cards or if many of them have been displayed, but that one looks, honestly, it's not, I agree with you, it's not good, but like most of them look like that or something close to it at this point.
I just saw the bids coming in. It was 2 in a row were 2 cards that are mine for another couple hours anyway.
Real quick, I just have to say this because this is definitely, it's not an elephant in the room because you've acknowledged it. You've handled this whole thing perfectly, but watching you tonight, Jeremy, like us having the opportunity to watch you both conduct a show with many, many people watching, talking about all these items, and at the same time, like knowing that like tens of thousands of dollars are on the line for you, like watching these things move up and down, and you're like anybody else who puts their cards at auction, you don't really know what's going to sell for until this moment. It's really going to be entertaining for me, and I think everybody else here tonight to watch.
Yeah, well, yeah, and you know, it's fun. I just saw another bid come in on one of mine, so we'll get to them eventually. They're coming up here shortly. 3. Okay, we've got I love this Luka card, Adam. I love Flawless first of all. I love the full body shot. I love the on-card auto. I love a nice symmetrical 3-color patch. PSA 9, the auto's a 10. Pop 2 graded higher. I wouldn't need a higher graded copy myself. This is a beautiful, beautiful card. I love it. Rookie year. Good luck to the bidders. Couple football cards. Patrick Mahomes, National Treasures, NFL gear, triple jersey piece, numbered out of 99. And a Justin Herbert NT. This is the numbered out of 10 version, the hollow gold, on-card auto, 4-color patch, pop 3, 1 graded higher. I really like this. I prefer the vertical Mahomes National Treasures rookie cards, rookie year cards to the horizontals. But you know, to get into one of those, you're spending more money. And it's a pop 9. It's a very nice card overall, but you're getting white jersey peaches versus, did I say peaches? White jersey pieces versus, color pieces, but you're also not paying for the color. So it's a great opportunity to get in on those items. I love this Jim Brown rookie, Adam. It deservedly so. It has the PWCC top 15 eye appeal designation to it. But we got to look at this because you just got to see, like, the centering on this thing is wonderful. Edges and corners are super sharp. The black background, it's got some snow showing, but it's not that bad. Like, a lot of them have it. Some people might not like it, but try to find one that doesn't have that, right? They're out there, but they're rare. This is a beautiful, beautiful copy. I'd be happy to own it for sure. We have an 03 SP Authentic basketball case, 12 boxes, BBCE authenticated, and a Josh Allen Contenders ticket stub rookie auto. Is this guy numbered? This is numbered out of 17. 17. PSA 10, pop 5. I like how it's die cut at the top, which I like that die cut pattern. Got some Topps pristine cards from 2003, I believe, that have a very similar top border. I like that. Oh, what a nice looking card that is. I really like it. All right, let's keep on going. Next row, Tom Brady, SP Authentic, rookie card, BGS 9.5, $10,000 right now. Looks to be a 395s and a 9 on the corners, but I always considered this to be like his mainstream rookie, and then the Bowman kind of took that position the Bowman Chrome did. But this is out of 1250, which is enough, I think, to keep it from being like one of those cards out of where the value, where it's just too tough to find. Similar to like the SP Authentic Future Watch autos or the Tiger Woods we saw earlier. And a Kenny Pickett Black Prism 1 of 1, Select Concourse Black Prism 1 of 1, PSA 10, only copy ever made, and that's at $4,100. I mean, I'm hearing good things. I don't know. I don't follow football that closely. I do keep an eye on it, but my understanding from my friends who are football like connoisseurs is that Kenny Pickett, or one friend in particular, tells me that Kenny Pickett is going to be the real deal. So we'll see. That's just one guy's opinion. All right, Adam, we know Star Rubies, Dennis Rodman. Why don't you talk about this card for a minute?
Yeah, so 97 was the first year that we got serial numbered parallels for rubies. There's a year before this that has like a card that looks almost exactly like the base card, but the serial number, there is no serial number. They were rare, but not nearly as rare as these. 97 rubies are, I think, in some real basketball aficionados' opinions, like the nicest looking of the 90s parallels. They're really gorgeous. This is a beautiful card in hand. This is another one that I'd look at the 360 view if you haven't already. The other thing that I'll point out here, Jeremy, is that I think this is the third Dennis Rodman card in the history of the Premier Auction. And there's a couple reasons for this. One is that he's not like Jordan. He doesn't have a ton of $20,000 type cards. But the other reason is that the big Rodman collectors, Jeremy, he's like a guy that just people don't let go of his cards very much because he doesn't have that many cards that are super key. There's like from 97, there's this, there's the PMG, there's the PMG Championship. It's kind of like the top of the top. Those are the best cards. And the fact that this one's graded a 9, that's a huge card. And again, that's one of those that like Rodman collectors tonight, this is an event for them. But anyway, go look at the 360 view on this and just love it because, and I'll say this too real quick. My biggest regret from the show, I went over to Naz's table and he had a Kobe from this set. He told me the price. It was a lot of money, obviously, but I had enough to get it done. I could have gotten it done, and I walked away. And later, I found out that John Spurs fanatic, he picked it up. And John's great and has a great collection. He's a super smart guy. But as soon as I saw that he got it, I was like, dang it! I knew I should have prioritized that. I should have gotten back to it. It's really like if you want one big time 90s parallel, you could do a lot worse than a 97 Rubies.
Yeah. These are super nice in hand. I've held them. You have to have it in hand. Everybody go look at the 360 if you are interested, and you'll see how beautiful it is. All right, we have a Patrick Mahomes Optic Red out of 99, PSA 10. We got a pair of Max Verstappen Dynasty, Topps Dynasties out of, these are the two of them. These are both that exist. Dual flag patches. They're both PSA 8s. Beautiful cards. Walter Payton PSA 9, 76 Topps rookie. We have a Patrick Mahomes Contenders ticket rookie card at $20,500 right now. We have a Red Wave Erling Haaland. Only 10 copies produced. It's a PSA 10. We have another Haaland right here. We've got an Mbappe. We haven't seen Mbappe for a while. Gold refractor out of 50. Tua National Treasures. This is the hollow silver out of 25. It's a BGS 9.5, currently at $6,500. Cade Cunningham, National Treasures, 75th anniversary. This is his rookie card out of 75. It's a 1 of 1 in the PSA population report. It's a PSA 10, $7,000. Kevin Durant, this is his rookie year, 2007 exquisite noble nameplates out of 25. It's a 1 of 1 PSA 10. And another Tiger Woods SP Authentic rookie out of 900. This one is a BGS 9.5. Let's just take a quick look at this to compare the autograph to the other copy. Yeah, this one doesn't have that issue there or a scuffed up case or card. This is, I would argue, this is a nicer copy than the other one. Centering 10, corners 9, edges and surface are both 9.5. Michael Jordan, this is not one of mine, but a great card. I actually have a copy of this card too. This is a Showcase Row 0 BGS 9.5 out of 250. Really nice card. The Slam Cam is a very popular Jordan insert. It's PSA 10 Pop 17 only on the Slam Cam. And another Lamar Jackson National Treasures card out of 99. This would be the true rookie, if you will, in a BGS 9.5 holder. But look at the beautiful 4-color patch. Adam, I'm going to run through a bunch of these cards so we can get through them. I definitely want to get to the cards that I've consigned as well. So keep in mind which ones you want to come back to. Netrageous Michael Jordan PSA 10 Pop 18 coming in at $10,000. More fuel to the Jordan insert fire right there. SP Authentic LeBron rookie year auto PSA 10 coming in at $7,250 right now. and a second-year exquisite LeBron limited logos. Beautiful card, beautiful patch. That auto looks amazing. BGS 8.5 at 18.5 seems like a steal right now compared to what we've seen. Couple of Kevin Durant's bookending this row with Adam and mine's favorite LeBron James rookie card in the middle, the limited card from Ultimate Collection. It's out of 25, BGS 7.5, full body shot. Let's take a quick look at the autograph on this one. Auto looks really nice. Graded a 10 by Beckett. The poorest subgrade is the corners at 7. Hard to tell on these white corners, so I like that. Top right shows a little bit of white coming in on the edges in the corner up there. All right, we got a LeBron James 03 Ultimate Collection rookie card auto out of 250. Let's take a look at that. I want to look at these autographs as we kind of fly through some of these. This autograph it's nice. It's slightly fading, but it's definitely still there. Numbered out of 250. It's a BGS 9.5 with 3 9.5s in the corners with a 9. But this Dwayne Wade 03 exquisite limited logos, what a beautiful card this is. 3-color patch, only 75 copies, and that autograph looks really good there. Yeah, I mean, it's lighter in some places, darker in others. You're going to find that on most cards. Very nice. No problem with that autograph. Beckett did give it a 10. And the Platinum Portraits from 97 Metal Universe, PSA 10, Pop 17, $26,500. Really interested to see where this card ends. I do own a copy of this card as well myself, Adam. Okay, take a minute, Adam, and just make some general comments if you can. I think I just flew through about 4 rows there.
It's so hard to make general comments about things that are so diverse, but
talk about the Platinum Portraits then. Let's do the portraits.
So there's 2 different years where we got to see Fleer really utilize this, for lack of a better term, pinhole technology on similar cards. One year is 97 with the Platinum Portraits. The next year is the Metal Fusion. Really different cards, but they're similar in that way. And those are really the only 2 that do that as well as these are done. It's not an easy insert to get. I think this one's a 1 in 288. Gosh, I might be wrong on that. It might be a 1 in 144, but it was a hard insert to get. It's a 12, 15 card insert set. And the thing that I would tell you, because I haven't ever owned the Jordan on this one, but I've owned several others. The combination of the holofoil and the pinholes is really special. It's fantastic. Yeah. It's one of those that if you get a chance to, even if this is outside your wheelhouse because it's so much money, go buy one of the lower end players, pay $50 or $100 for it, and just like understand the artwork that is behind that card. It's one of my favorite lines, and I say this one all the time in the videos, is it feels more like artwork than traditional cardboard. And this card fits that.
Yeah, these are holes in the card. That's what's super cool about them. Definitely take a look at one of these if you can down the road. Superfractor, Austin Riley, 101 auto, PSA 10. Josh Allen, NT Hollow Silver out of 25 and a BGS 9.5 holder. And a BGS Black Label, Shohei Ohtani, Topps Clearly Authentic, autograph, BGS 10, Pop 101. Very nice card right there. Ultimate Collection, game jersey, Tom Brady with an autograph out of 25, currently at 28,500. Black Finite, Jordan Love rookie, 1 of 1 from Prism. Pretty cool, PSA 8. And an 86 star Michael Jordan. Rookie, it says rookie. I don't know if this is a rookie or not. I guess PWCC is considering it a rookie card, but it's definitely in the same year as the Fleer rookie, so hard to argue with that right there, right? BGS 10. Ellie De La Cruz, $21,500 right now for an Ellie De La Cruz orange chrome refractor. A beautiful Tiger Woods autograph from SP Authentic, numbered out of 65, and a Wander Franco. Wander Franco, Diamond Icons in the rough, gold, 1 of 1, PSA 8, only copy ever made, 1,075. You'd have to think a couple weeks ago this card would be at a lot bigger of a number. Some more Ellie De La Cruzes on the bookends here, everybody. Mookie Betts in the middle. We've got a Prism Gold, Yao Ming. Adam, I have to think this interests you a little bit. Yes, no?
Yeah, I love 2012 Prism, and I really like Yao Ming. I mean, it is. It's definitely an interesting card.
I knew you'd like that one. Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, a couple of up-and-comers right here. 2023 Panini Instant Premier First Look cards.
I have to talk about these real quick because it was like there was a group of people that was like, hey, we need to make sure Adam mentions these tonight. I'm teasing a little bit. I think there's some real excitement around these cards because of what's going on with Panini and Fanatics, because we don't really know what's going to happen. So these are both one of ones. I think they're both one of ones. You go back and make sure that's true. Okay, yeah, they're both one of ones.
Yeah, they are one of ones. Yeah.
And so the question that people are sort of asking, and this is a worthwhile question, is are we gonna get rookies this year? Like, what's gonna happen this year? How's it going to change? As of today, as I understand it, as it's been told to me, these are the only one of ones of these two guys. And so, when you hear that, you kind of go, tilt your head sideways a little bit and go, you know what? That kind of is a good question. I don't know what's going to happen with Panini and with Fanatics, and these do exist for 2023. And if that's true, they're the only one of ones. Like, that's kind of a big deal, don't you think?
Yeah, these may be their only cards this year. There's a lot of speculation. We don't know. We just don't know. Okay, let's go over to page 2. And
we made it. Page 2.
Page 2. This is a 2 of 2 page, everybody. A 2 of 2, and we're gonna take a look. All right, so this is one of my cards right here, everybody. This is the Finest Embossed Michael Jordan Refractor from 1997. It's a PSA 10. It's a Pop 14. This is numbered on the back out of 263. This is one that I'm gonna miss this card, Adam, but I'm willing to buy it back in the future. Excuse me. I like in a lower condition card, maybe the BGS 8 holder or something like that. Like, I don't care so much about the condition as much as just having the card to look at. I'm gonna miss this one. Second most, I believe, of the 10 cards that I have in the auction tonight. So 13,000 on this one, numbered out of 263 as it sits. We have a triple auto here. Jordan, LeBron, and Julius Erving. That's a really cool card from Upper Deck Ultimate Collection. Only 10 copies made, on card autos, BGS 9.5. Adam, this is a special card, no?
The 2005 Ultimate is really noteworthy in that it just has this certain look and feel to it.
Yeah.
I think hockey's the same way. Even it's one of these cross sport ones where they nailed it and they got it right. Those three are three of the best wings of all time. Obviously, there's some people who are going to look at this, me included, who I look at that and I think, gosh, I wish Irving would have been Kobe, right? But then in that case, you know what you'd be doing? You'd be paying 10 times as much for it. Irving really needed to come before those other two guys. And so, I mean, the fact that it's out of 10, it's as graded as high as it is, it's an elite multi-signature card. And Jeremy always point this out. It's on card. Like, all three of those guys held that card.
Amazing card. All right, guys. The only three hockey cards in the Premier this month are all mine. These are ones that I've consigned over to PWCC, everybody. And I'm a hockey guy. I have other cards of these players in my collection, so I'm okay letting them go. I'm gonna miss them. I've had them for a long time, but if the eventual buyer or winner of these cards or any of the cards I'm selling through the auction tonight are, if you're watching, let me know you own my old cards. Send me a DM, send me an email. I just love to know who picks up some of these. Sidney Crosby's from 2005, Connor McDavid from 2015, and Alex Ovechkin is from 2005. And I can just tell you, I've loved and cared for these cards since I've had them. So I hope they're gonna find their way to a good new home. We are now in the next level of extended bidding, the 2-minute window. So if a bid doesn't come in 2 minutes on any item, the whole auction will end. Adam, was there something else there's a bid on one of my cards. So you can see I'm getting excited now, guys, because we're in the my card section of the auction now. And I definitely want to have a look at them. Adam, please.
I'm wondering if you just didn't want me to say anything about the Jordan Finest.
Which one? Oh, please go ahead.
So I think it's important for people to understand what's going on here. Like, this is a card that there's 263 of. It's not a super small number. So you look at that card and you go, holy crap, it's 13 grand plus BP. Like, that's a lot of money. But the thing that I think people don't realize, Jeremy, is that you're not just looking at this card. And this is why Jeremy talked about the BGS 8. You're looking at the highest grade in the PSA holder. And to some collectors, that is the most important thing. Like, that is what they collect. They want a PSA 10 of the biggest cards. A guy like Matt Turner, for example, wants to have the highest grade of all of the cards. And that may not be the way that all of us collect. In fact, I know it's not the way. It's not the way I collect. It's not the way you collect, but it's the way that a lot of people collect. And so the fact that this is a pop, what is it? Pop 14. Yeah. And Jeremy, it's not an insignificant card. Like 97 Finest is the first time that we saw the combination of both the common, uncommon, rare with the embossed attached to it. The year before they had done the common, uncommon, rare, but this year they added the embossed, and then for gold they added the die cut. If this was gold, this would be a lot of money, like a lot of money. But the silver, I've owned this card. I owned it in a BGS 9.5. It is a beautiful card. It has as deep of an emboss as you will ever see on a chrome card. And Jeremy says that on the back, it's serial numbered at a 263. But the thing that you've got to look at here is what Jeremy has highlighted there. It's how many of them there are. And so that's why we're seeing incredible prices on PSA 10s right now, because some collectors genuinely really care about that, and they're willing to pay for the highest condition. And it's not up to me to say that's what you should collect. People are always like, I think that's dumb. Well, congratulations, you think it's dumb. Like, people collect cards and other people think that's dumb. It doesn't matter. Like, people want the highest grade. And so it's neat to see it doing as well as it is for you. I'm happy for you. But I want people to understand, like, when you see something that's as rare as that card is in that grade of Michael Jordan, you're going to see a huge number.
Yeah. I mean, I got to kind of be careful what I say and what I'm thinking here, but I'm surprised it's, there are other cards in this auction that are not as rare, that have like higher pop 10 pops, higher PSA 10 pops that are selling for a lot more. So I was expecting this one to do quite a bit more than it is, but hey, we'll let the market set the price tonight, and we'll see where it ends. We spoke about the 3 SP Authentic Future Watch autos, what I call the triumvirate of modern hockey. These are the 3 players that you do want if you are collecting hockey and you're collect whatever card it is, whether they're $10,000 cards or $50 cards. These 3 guys, Crosby, McDavid, Ovechkin, that's the 3 that I always look to put together. This whole row, these are all my cards consigned to PWCC. We've got the Planet Metal. I love this card. It's a PSA 10. These are all PSA 10, and I love it. Championship hardware, guy. This, by the way, I think this is a pop 30 or 33, something like that on the Planet Metal. The championship hardware here, pop 11. Only 11 copies in PSA 10 holders. I think that makes it pretty special. And my jambalaya, which I'm certainly going to miss this card. Adam, you shed a tear in your post the other day, because I'd never seen one in person until I saw yours at the 2019 National, and I bought this a couple months later. And I'm certainly going to miss this card, the jambalaya. It's a BGS 9.5. It's a true Gem Plus, as the lingo goes. 3 9.5s and a 10. Although the 10 is on corners, it doesn't really have corners, so just pretty funny. But anyway, it's a BGS 9.5. Adam, anything you'd like to add on these 3 Michael Jordan cards that are mine?
You obviously know that I do. So I can talk about all 3 of them. They're the two best brands of the 90s: Metal Universe and EX. That's the commonality between the 3 of them here. They're all gem mint condition. But let's talk about each one of them individually. So the one on the left is a great card, like you said, low population. It's from 98 Metal Universe. That's the year of the gold PMGs. It's a great card. To me, of these 3, it's easily the 3rd place, though. The 2nd place card for me is the rarest one in the grade that it's in, and that's the hardware. The thing that people don't think about here, and that I would challenge people to think about, and why I think it's such an interesting card in the auction, or such an interesting card that somebody might want to look at, is that it's from the 97 Metal Universe Championship set. That's the same year as the PMG Championships, the ones with like the scope pattern My son calls it the bubbly pattern. It's the one that like spins around. It's my best card is the Jordan of that. Think about this, Jeremy. This is the insert of that set. There's 11 of these, right? Like there's like, to me, you said that the Finest was your second best card. This is way better than the Finest is, like, to me. Like, and I think this, I may be wrong. I think this card will sell for way more than the Finest card does too. But the best card that you have up, in my opinion, is the card that I am shocked you're moving. And I've told you this, like the Jambalaya. You said earlier in the show that you might pick one up in lower grade. They don't. There's not a lot of them in lower grade. Like Beckett's graded like 100 of them. PSA's graded fewer than that. They never move hands because for parallels, there's the PMG. For inserts, there's the Jambalaya. The Jambalaya is the MJ insert. It is. There's cards that are worth more, right? The Golden Fusion's worth more than this card is. But when you think of Jordan inserts, it's this, and then there's ones that are less important. Less rare. This is that combination of rare and significance. And we talk about cards being closer to artwork than traditional cardboard. It's like one of the few cards in the world that I look at and I go, that is perfect. And so, again, I totally sound like a guy doing a sales job. I'm up on my soapbox. I'm doing all these things. I am not going to sell mine, right? I was shocked that you were selling yours, but we all have priorities. We have things we have to take care of. I don't blame you for doing that, but like, I don't think you'll get one back, man. I don't. Like, it's
okay. If PWCC is listening, please delist this, take this off. I'd like to keep the card. I'd like to keep Adam's making me feel really sad about selling this card. I'll be okay. I'm just kidding, of course.
No, Jeremy, you do realize though, like there's a good chance that you don't get into another one of these, right? Like this, there's not another like, oh, I'm gonna go drop $5,000 on one of these. No, like it's worth what it is, not because of condition. And then the other thing about it, I didn't even mention this, like yours is one of, I think I did the research on this. There's 10 copies in the world that are true gems, like, or true gem. Maybe it's, I think it's that there's 10 in the world that are true gems or true gem pluses. You've got one of the nicest ones in the world. And right now, I don't think the market's necessarily paying the premium on that. And so, whereas if maybe like a year ago, people were crazy for that sort of thing. Anyway, I've said what I want to say about them.
We will see what happens. I'm excited for the new owner of these cards. And again, if it's anyone watching, please let me know. I'd love to know where these cards end up, and just hope you take care of them nicely. Of course, I'm going to see how the other ones are doing right now. Yeah, you're right. This is a great card. They're great cards. They are great cards, no doubt. So that covers, of the 10 that I'm selling on the platform tonight, these three here, and this one here. That's 7. There's 3 more that are further down. They're coming up not too far down here. We've got an immaculate collection, Trevor Lawrence, 1 of 1. It's a PSA 8. That's a beautiful card right there. Josh Allen, Midnight from National Treasures. This is a beautiful, look at that. That is absolutely stunning. I love it. Numbered out of 20. What a great card. And my favorite Patrick Mahomes card is this one right here. This is the flawless rookie patch auto, PSA 10, Pop 4. Easily my favorite Mahomes card, Adam, that I think I've ever seen. I just love the full body shot on card auto. Nice 3-color patch right there. Here we have a Michael Jordan autographed 86 Fleer rookie. The card is graded a 7. The autograph is graded an 8. It's in gold ink on this one. Adam, I'm sure you've got thoughts on this. Anything you'd like to say?
Yeah. I love this card. It's one of my 2 favorite cards of the night. People are going to think the Jambalaya is my favorite card of the night. I think about cards that I don't have, right? I have the Jambalaya. It's one of my favorite cards in my collection, but I don't need to think about other ones because I already own it. I've always wanted a Jordan autographed rookie, and I don't think I've gotten probably 5 different people who have messaged me on this card today and have said, hey, what do you think about this? Do you really like it? Or, I'm going to make a play after this. What are you going to sell for? I have no idea what stuff that's this rare is going to sell for. I have no clue. And people who think that who can predict it, they have no idea either. People sort of act like they know, but the selling point on this card is not just that it's an autographed Jordan rookie, which puts it in a, as a card that is always very interesting every time it lists, but it's the autograph on the card. We've talked on this show a number of times about how the blue autograph on these can get lost because the background's like really busy, like the background of it. You've got all the fans in there. You'll sometimes look at an 86 Fleer Jordan autograph and you go, oh, that's autographed. It's sort of a secondary thought. That's caused me to actually look for ones where the autograph is on the back. But the autograph on the back is obviously not ideal. It doesn't display nearly as well. You have to have both pictures. There's pros and cons there, but I don't always like the autograph on the front. This one, though, is like, and again, people either love or hate gold, but I love gold. And so I look at this thing and I just drool over this card. If it's not my favorite card of the auction, it's my second. It's either this or the Kobe PMG, and honestly, it's probably this. Like I love this card, and so several people have been messaging me like, "How high is this thing going to go?" Because it's already a lot higher than I think most people thought it was going to go. But at the risk of sounding super pumpy, like I've never seen another Jordan Gold autograph before, and so if that's what you want, like, here you go. This is the This is the only one that I've ever seen. Have you ever seen another one, Jeremy?
Well, not in gold, but okay, so the card is graded a 7, and when I look at it, I'm like, that card's actually pretty nice until you see the top left corner here. I have to think this is the culprit, bringing it off of being a 10 or maybe a 9, but that's it. Like, outside of that, I'm not, like, the centering is nice, the edges are nice, the other 3 corners are all very nice, the edges are great, and this is a nice card overall, despite the top left corner. The autograph getting an 8, I mean, I don't understand that. I don't see what's wrong with this autograph. I mean, it's a paint pen, like, so there's a little streak there. Who cares? Like,
it's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect. This makes no sense to me. Let me rephrase that. The standard makes no sense to me, I guess.
Yeah. So I feel the exact same thing on this, Jeremy. I have an 86. I might have told you this before, but I have an 86 Malone that's autographed in black. And it's literally the best Karl Malone autograph I've ever seen on an 86 Fleer. I sent it into Beckett because I like how they grade their autographs. I think they do a really good job. Came back an 8 on the autograph. And I was like, man, like, if this is an 8, I don't know what to tell you, because this is as nice of an autograph on this card as exists. Sometimes people will say, well, it's got this little streak, or like you just said with the gold, but like, isn't there like an eye appeal to the autograph that matters? That right there that we're looking at, in my opinion, is the best autograph that I've seen on a Jordan front.
I think so. There is more ink there than I've ever seen on a Jordan autograph that is on a card. I mean, it takes up a lot of cardboard real estate right there. So I'm with you. Beautiful autograph. I think whoever buys that, if there's any discount to be had because of the grades, the 7 and the 8, I'm like, yeah, good. Like, you are savvy if you're picking this up, if it's going to sell at a discount. I don't know that it is a grading discount, I should say, but yeah, I just don't know that that's what's happening here. All right, let's keep on going. A nice Joe Burrow NT RPA out of 99. Fernando Tatis Jr. out of 5. The Red Wave out of 5 right there. It's at $1,800. Pretty low. Very low for a Premier Auction item. We've got a flawless basketball from 2021, first off the line case. Trevor Lawrence, flawless RPA out of 25. Another Mbappe, the second Mbappe. This is a nice card. The gold out of 10, rookie out of 10. The field level gold and the PSA 10. Steph Curry, exquisite rookie autograph out of 225. And then this
jersey numbered, Jeremy.
Jersey numbered.
It's a huge card.
Jersey numbered at 14,000. Some people think it's a gimmick. We saw that earlier in the chat there. Personally,
can we talk about that?
In my mind.
So I'll keep this short. I know you want me to keep. I saw your note. You want me to keep stuff shorter. So this, like, it's easy to find a Steph Curry rookie card from Exquisite. There's 225 of them. Heck, there's 2 different versions. Right? There's 450 of them. Like, there's one jersey numbered card. I push back on this so hardcore. Like, there's so many times where a big time rookie comes out and I don't care about any of them except for the jersey number 1. Like, that is the chase. That is the hard card to find. it was never hard to find a Steph Curry exquisite. I bid at one point, Jeremy, on a lot of 5 exquisite Steph Curry rookies back in 2010. Like, it was not that hard to find the card. But this card was always impossible to find. And to see the jersey number 1 at auction, I feel like the pendulum swayed way too far into the anti-jersey number world. And again, just like I talked about earlier with the Aaron Rodgers, I want to see this end up in like a big Steph collector's collection where he says, I don't care if people don't like the jersey number thing. I like it, and I want to hold on to it forever, because this is the sort of card you just never used to see at auction before.
I certainly like it. I think it's cool. I think it's super cool when you can match the jersey number. But yeah, that's just me and some other people. So appreciate the comments. 2003 Flair Tradition Crystal, LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony rookie, pop 13 and BGS 9.5 right there. This is a pretty cool card right here. Michael Jordan SPX Promotion. It's a die cut. It's numbered 1 of 100. It's a BGS 8. Autograph has a 9. Two different holograms here. It's a pretty cool card overall. Is it not, Adam?
Yeah, I don't know. I had somebody leave a comment on one of my posts the other day. I've never really understood why the XPX autographs don't get the love that some of the other stuff does. Maybe it's just because there's like several of them and they're harder to differentiate. But you opened cards during this time. Opening the SPX packs where you get 1 card a pack or 2 cards a pack, that was one of the premier brands that ever came out, and the holograms were always so cool. And so I don't know why. I mean, look, it's at 27 grand before BP. It's not like it's a cheap card, but if this was one of the other brands, it might be 2 or 3 times as much. And I don't totally understand why that is. Maybe it's just rarity. There's 100 of them. It's not as limited as some of the other ones. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, I agree. It's a premium product, and these SPX hologram cards, they're not for everybody. Like, I don't love cards with big holograms on them myself. I have 1 or 2 only in my whole collection, but I know people that absolutely love them. There's so much nostalgia on these holograms too. So I certainly can understand that, the attraction based on that. And I love the pose here. Like, he's all business. Perfect. Right there. All business. Triple autograph of the Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. And look at the platinum portraits, up to $75,000 right now. That has gone from 29, I think, earlier when we went past it. It's flown to 75 grand in the past few minutes.
Don't you own a 10 of that?
I do. I have one of the other 11 of them, yes.
Holy crap, Jeremy. And maybe it's not done, but like, that's a big sell for that card.
Yeah, I would agree. That's a big number for sure. It's a big number. We've got my hot shots, everybody. I love my hot shots. I'm gonna miss you, hot shots. I'm gonna miss you. But I have a Shaquille. Some of the justification for me in letting go of some of my Jordans, Adam, is that I've got some nice Shaquille O'Neals that I'm not letting go, and they're just not worth as much. And I like Shaquille more than I like Michael Jordan, just as a personality. Of course, I understand he's no MJ as far as the iconicism, but I do have that sort of in my back pocket, that I have a Shaquille O'Neal hot shots. I believe it's a PSA 10, and that's going to get me my hot shots fill that I need to stay happy.
I'm going to do the same thing that I did on the Jambalaya and try to make it a little bit regretful, because again, this is another one of those that like, there's some real significance to it. It's not just a Jordan 10, although on its own, that's a big deal. When I think about this card, I'll tell you why I think it's as important as it is that the real great inserts all come in the next 2 years. This card, along with probably a cut above out of EX, probably like one of the 2 best inserts from 96 or before. Everything else that came after were where the really great ultra elite inserts came from. But 96, he's in the middle of his second three-peat. And I remember when these cards came out, there's a lot of misprints where the name that's on the card does not match the image that's on the card. And some of those are kind of fun things to sort of to look at and to collect. But having a PSA 10 of this with all the corners of the flames popping up, that's why there's so few of them. It was a difficult card to make. It was it wasn't like it wasn't a hugely difficult insert to pull, but it was probably the most difficult at that time. And so, again, this is one that you'll be able to add again, I think, in an 8 or a 9 without any problem. But in a 10, you probably are going to really struggle to ever have a chance to get another one of these again, just because it's really like, because of its importance for 96, I think it's really a beloved card.
I'm going to miss it. There's no doubt about it. But, I got it for less than 22.5. So
Yeah.
I'm going to, that'll help soften the blow of not having the card anymore, somewhat. This is also mine. I think, these next two are mine as well. The 97 Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor, a PSA 10, as you can see. This is a low pop. I don't want to say and be wrong, but I think it's somewhere in the 30s. And I'll just go to the PSA app and do a quick 214-82566 and see what the population is on this one. What's that? Yeah, this is a Pop 17. I don't know. Pop 17 should have made the subtitle here, I would think.
I agree.
Yeah, right?
That's lower than I would have thought. I would have guessed it was like 40 or 50. That's lower than I would have thought. That's really the sell point here. It's not a first year, right? It's the second year of Bowman's Best Atomic. Very cool, Jeremy. I can see that. I'm a bigger fan of like stuff that's like first year and significant for that reason. This isn't that. I guess what this is, though, I don't think he doesn't have a 98 Bowman's Best. So this is his last Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor, his second of two. And that probably on its own is significant enough. Bowman's Best just doesn't get the love in basketball that maybe that Chrome or that some of those other ones do. But
Adam, his 96 Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor PSA 10 sold last $26,000, which is partially why I thought I'd let this one go, because I thought, well, maybe it's going to do similar. The population in 10 at 17 is close to, I forget what the other one is, but it's kind of low like that. I thought it might even be a little bit higher, it might be 21 or something. I thought this is gonna, I thought this was gonna sell for about $20,000. So this one at $57.50, I'll be quite honest, I'm very disappointed at the price that this one is currently at $57.50. I'd rather not let it go so cheap, but someone's gonna get a great deal at this point.
I would too, especially because of the population. But I would say that like 96 is, it's the first, people love first year stuff. I love first year stuff. That's why I think that's part of why that one sold for as much as it did. Don't get me wrong, I love this card, but again, I think the sales job there is like there's 17 of them, and it is, I mean, look, you've got 3 Chrome refractors, you've got 2 Bowman's Best refractors. It's basically it for like the big time Chrome end of, I guess there's some of those finest ones, but none of those are that rare. Like those are the rarest of the refractors of MJ in those late 90s Bulls years. And so 17 of them, I think I'm with you. It's less than I would have thought as well.
Yeah.
We're not done. We're not done. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens for sure. Hey, listen, if this is where it ends, I'm gonna move on and I'll be just fine. It's not the end of the world, but I just think it's a cool card and excited. Whoever gets it, congratulations. Same with the Hot Shots, which I'm certainly going to miss. This one here, this is the East-West Refractor. It's got Kobe Bryant on the back, Adam. This is such a beautiful card. This is like, it is, the population on this is higher. It's like 92, I think, 92 or 93. And I had this with me at the National, and I couldn't sell it for $8,000 at the National. That's what I was asking. And well, I shouldn't say I couldn't. I showed it to 2 people. So 2 people didn't want it for $8,000. And now someone's going to pay 96 with buyer's premium on it tonight. So, it's impossible. And I'm learning this right now. I've learned this before, but it's emphasizing right now that when you're selling cards, it's really impossible to just max out on everything, to get top dollar on everything. We have to have our expectations. I think, manage our own expectations and understand when you're selling more than one card at a time, you're probably going to do really well on a couple, average on a bunch, and maybe poorly on a couple. But at the end of the day, hopefully it all balances out. And for me tonight, with my 10 cards, that's what I'm hoping for. I just hope it all balances out at the end of the day.
I need to take a second on this one. I kind of poo-pooed your Bowman's Best a little bit, but this one I think I'd do the opposite on. And it's because the story is so strong. I'm a big story guy. You know this. I always want the card to have a story. This one to me, here's the story. It's pretty simple. In 1996, Kobe Bryant comes into the NBA, right? He has his first year. He comes off the bench. He doesn't, he's good, but he's not. We have no idea who he's going to become. Over the years, we see duels with Jordan and Harold Miner, Jordan and Grant Hill, Jordan and Anthony Hardaway, and probably 10 other different guys, right? Kobe's the one that makes sense in retrospect, right? Kobe scored more points in his career than Jordan. Kobe's got 5 championships and Jordan's got 2. Some people have them as 2 of the best 5 players of all time. And the fact that that Topps had the foresight to include both of them on the same card and put them both in a refractor in a rare set is really pretty remarkable when you think about how Topps is produced at the beginning of the year. This was at the end of Kobe's second year that they were determining that this card should be made. It's just incredible that it exists. And then when you think about it being in a 10 and how few of them there are, it's not like this one's not super low pop, right? Isn't this one like pop 50 or 60 or something like that?
It's actually, I do remember checking. I'll double check. I think it's actually in the 90s.
Higher? Yeah. And
yeah.
That doesn't shock me. It's not like a super condition sensitive card, but it's a 2-sided refractor, which is always cool. But I've given this sort of sales job on the card. Like, you think about how important those 2 guys are to the game. They're easily the 2 best shooting guards of all time. And they're both in a playing days card here. It's really cool. I guess playing days is a little bit of semantics there. Jordan had just retired because it's 98. But he doesn't have a lot of top cards from 98. So let's be glad that Topps had the presence of mind to throw this one out right at the very beginning of the season. It's very fortunate.
It's a beautiful card. There's no doubt about it. It's a pop 93. So it's one where, if I decide one day to reacquire a copy, I can pick up a 9, PSA 9, or maybe by that point I can pick up a tag 9, if they're out there, because that would definitely be my personal preference. Ken Wood, thanks for joining. Good to have you back on the Premier Auction stream. Stale Proud says, I like these PWCC premieres. Thanks for joining. Brent says, love Shaq, baby. Me too, Brent. We certainly have that in common. Irish Flyers, Neil says, I'm with you, Adam. Jersey numbered are premium items. Definitely agree with that comment myself right there. Matthew Ryan says, makes the card unique. That's the best one. Jersey number all day for top players. I've never thought about it in terms of just top players, but considering I really only collect top players, or if I collect a player, I think they're a top player. So I'm with you on that, Matthew Ryan. And thanks everybody for joining the show. We're going to delete any political comments, which I can't do. So we're going to have to do something a little bit different. But we're going to keep those off the stream tonight. All right, we've got okay, so hold on. I have to go back to the top here and just run through and see what's going on. So the embossed refractor is up to 13,000. The beautiful triple auto is at 15,000. The Midnight Justin Fields is at 6. Sidney Crosby, PSA 10 Future Watch Auto from SB Authentic, 95. The Connor McDavid's at 19,000. I think I saw one of these just sell for like $30-something thousand, Adam. You'd have to, check the records, but I'm pretty certain I just saw a record breaker post. So, I was thinking this could sell for more, but hey, we'll see. Maybe those people got theirs already. Ovechkin's at 21,000. Planet Metals at 8. Champ Hardware 25. Jambalaya is at 44. Trevor Lawrence, the 101, is at 6,500. The Josh Allen's at 75. This beautiful Patrick Mahomes. I do love this card. $55,000. Still at $100,000 on the Michael Jordan autoed 86 Fleer in gold. Joe Burrow NT's at 32. Tatis is at 1,800. I did see some conversation in the chat about this Tatis, so thank you for responding to the initial question in there. The Mbappe gold out of 10 PSA. It's also got an NBA gold sticker on it right there. This is at $50,000. Our Steph Curry is up to 14.5. Rodman just got a bid. Rodman Ruby's up to 12,000 down over here, everybody. 12.5 on the Crystal. LeBron rookie card, Dwayne Wade and Carmelo rookie. That's pretty cool. The Jordan Auto's up to 27.5. The triple auto with Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Julius Erving's at $4,800. There's like, this isn't that rare to have this triple auto, is it, Adam? I've seemed to see a few of them over time.
No, what's rare here is that grade. A 710 is a smoking version of this card. There's actually, it's pretty rare in that version.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Very good. The Hot Shots at 22.5. The Atomic Refractor at 57.50. East West at $8,000. This is the Blockchain Jason Tatum Vinyl 101 at $3,800. 2018 Panini Select $11,000. Collectors Canada says the record-breaking McDavid. So he's talking about this card up here that sold last week or in the last couple of weeks. Had an auto 10. He says there's a huge difference with that card if it's an auto 10. Huge difference. You get two more numbers on the PSA paper label that say 10, because you can't tell for yourself that this autograph is already a 10. Yeah. That's where I give the hobby a slap in the face for that. But I've done that before. Patrick O'Connell says I have a Patrick Kane PMG green. David Owen says, stop taking attention from my MJ inserts by putting attention on yours. We've been pretty even on the attention, David. We've been pretty even overall. At least I'm trying my best to.
What's David selling tonight?
I don't know. Let us know, Dave. Maybe the Platinum Portraits.
There was the Platinum Portraits. There was one other one.
Yeah, what was
the
beginning? Oh, there's the Row Zero. There was Legacy Row Zero.
I thought the Platinum Portraits is yours coming into the show. When I saw it on the auction, I just assumed that it was yours because I knew you were selling stuff.
It's not mine. I do have one. That one is certainly. Oh, he's got the Slam Cam. He's got the Slam Cam.
The Slam Cam. Yeah, and honestly, David, like, I actually do want to go back and talk about the Slam Cams a little bit here as well. So when we get the chance to do that, let's definitely
half bid just came in on the championship hardware. Terrell Owens, PMG green, SGC 92, sitting at 67.50 right now. UD3 court commemorative MJ auto, 24,250. Just got a bid. The triple auto we saw is up to 5,000. 3 more PMG green football cards. Steve Young at 61.25. We got the one I'd love to buy, the Jerry Rice at $60,000. I do have a red in that, which will have to keep me happy. And the Emmitt Smith is at $36,000. A great, these two, the Barry Sanders would probably be the most important 3 in the whole set, I would think, I believe. But some, there's Steve Young, there's Troy Aikman, I believe, there's John Elway, some other great cards in there as well. Select club level gold prism, Joe Burrow rookie out of 10, the gold, pop 8, 4,300, and then this Joe Burrow Panini Prism gold out of 10, PSA 9 is at $32,000. These are both rookie year cards. They're both from 2020. They're both golds. They're both out of 10. One is 32,000. One is 4,300. And there's pop 8 here, pop 7 there. It's a 9, but there's none graded higher. This is a weird dichotomy here, Adam, where you've got like the same player. Now, this I do think is a nicer looking card, but is it $28,000 nicer? I just don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a significance over aesthetics conversation for sure, though. I mean, it's, if you were to ask me what, and I don't collect football at all, if you were to say for a modern day basketball rookie, what would you rather have? Of the cards that are non-one of ones, what's the card you want most? The really easy, quick answer off your tongue is the Prism Gold. And so it's not the Select Gold. It's not something else. And I'm a big significance over, and you try to talk about why it's significant and all that stuff and rationalize it, but I'm a big significance guy over aesthetics guy. But I agree with you, aesthetically, that one's certainly not 8 times more better than that one, for sure.
But you're right. Significance is important. Panini Prism has a little bit more cachet in the hobby than Select, as far as from what I perceive. And I do think it is just a cleaner card. It's just nicer to look at, and there has to be something to that. But look at this piece here. 2019 National Treasures, Babe Ruth, Honus Wagner, dual auto, Quad Mem. Let's open this up for a second and take a look, because this card
It's crazy.
is pretty cool. Adam, what do you think of this piece?
I think it's incredible. Is that Babe and Honus on the same piece of paper?
Yeah.
I mean, that's, to me, that's easily the story here. Like, usually when you have dual autographs, you're taking two different documents and you're putting them together. This one's on the same thing. I mean, it's incredible. It gets dinged a little bit because it's not traditional card length, right? And people want their cards to be in exactly the same thing. But like, man, as far as a booklet goes, that's about as cool as a booklet can be right there.
That is definitely a beautiful, beautiful card right there. Booklet card for sure, for sure. Marshall Falk, PMG Green, BGS 8 at $6,500. Justin Jefferson, Black Finite 101 from Prism is $25,250. And a dual auto, Michael Jordan, LeBron James out of 25 from 2005, SP Game Used, is at $14,500. Take a look at these autos for a moment. This is a really nice card. Yeah, those autos look good. But they're a 10.
This card, Jeremy, I've held one of these in hand. This card is sneaky nice aesthetically. This is one to put in the 360 as well, because if you look at that holofoil right below the guys there, that is really nice holofoil. And then up top, the 14 out of 25. I love it when the serial numbers in holofoil. Just freaking love that. So that combination there, go look at that. Not you, but like other people who are watching, go look at that one in the 360. That's a gorgeous card.
And just look how young LeBron is here. And this is like 2 years into his career already. Like, he just looks like a baby there. That's very, very cool. Very nice picture. Let's close those up. All right. Continuing along, there's another Shohei, the Superfractor 101 at $19,000. I see my Champ Hardware is getting a lot of these half bids coming in on the Champ Hardware. People are nibbling away at it. Nice to see. The Panini Instant FIFA World Cup, Lionel Messi, auto, 10 copies, BGS 9s at $88.75. And the SP Authentic Super Pack Kevin Durant is at $52.50. All right, how many more cards do we have? Oh, only 6 more cards in the auction. Flawless Diamond Gems, Giannis Antetokounmpo, everybody. Antetokounmpo out of 20. PSA 10 is at $77.50. Nice looking card. Nice looking card there.
It's his rarest rookie, Jeremy.
His rarest rookie, Adams, please.
Nobody talks about it. And I just think, you always start to think like maybe at some point the world or the collecting world will sort of shift focus. I'm clearly an idiot because I thought I would have rather had this card than an NTRPA. You could find NTRPAs all day back in 2014. It was all over the place. Find 10 of them on eBay at a time. This card was really hard to find. And yet the NTRPA has blown up in value over the last decade. And this card's basically like a little bit more than it was back in 2014. I like rarity. Other people like, some other things. But to me, like that's if I wanted one big Giannis rookie to just sort of say that's one that I could see in the long term being more sort of important, I think that's a great candidate.
And by the way, everybody, we are now in the 1 minute extended bidding. So if there is not a bid on any item for 1 minute duration, the whole auction will end, but the bids are still coming in. Looks to be, well, pretty quick here, pretty quick, within a couple seconds of each other. Adam, this is a 2017 National Treasures Patrick Mahomes rookie patch auto, 1 of 1, PSA 5. Now, is it really? Yeah, it is a 1 of 1. They say pop 1 of 1, none graded higher. There are none 2 grade higher. So let's have a look at this guy, though. This is a beautiful looking card. I do like the patches on this. Yeah, auto's absolutely perfect. It says stamped 101 right up here, but still none graded higher. It's a PSA 5. Like, why? Well, I'm sure there's a reason for it. Probably surface or something like that. That bottom left corner seems to have some white showing. And again, these cards travel. They travel from hand. They travel from production to player, back to production, back to pack out, all that. So it's going to happen. But if this card is being penalized because of the grade, I think that the buyer is going to be quite happy because instead of it being 100 grand, it's 17 grand or something like that.
I purchased a 1-of-1 in a PSA 6 holder recently, and I had some people commenting, very few, but a couple people were like, "Why is it PSA 6?" I literally was like, "I don't know. I don't really care. It doesn't really matter to me." The great thing is if I thought a lot about this lately, you can either pay for condition or you can pay for rarity, right? Like that's why something sells for a lot. Those are the two sort of components really that like add to it. Maybe there's other things, but those are the main ones. I want to pay for rarity. I don't want to pay for condition like on a card like that. It's a 1-of-1. And so if it's going to sell for 3 times more because it's in a higher grade, then I just think that the market's weird. That doesn't make any sense to me. I'd rather have the card that's a 1-of-1 that's graded lower and then I can buy for one third the price all day long.
And look, the clock got pretty low there, but I think it's just behind because the bids are coming in. 2020 Panini Flawless Star Swatch Gold Steph Curry, only 10
Beautiful.
copies made. This one is raw, and it's a pretty nice looking card. Let's just take a quick peek at it. That's a cool looking card right there. Numbered 8 of 10. Nice autograph. It's been certified as authentic by MBA. Very nice piece. And the final 3 items, 2022 NT Football, first off the line, case is at 18 grand. Panini Studio Skyline Steph Curry 1-of-1 from 2009. BGS 9 that seems low to me, Adam. Why is this only at 5,200? And I say that because it's a Steph Curry 1-of-1 early in his career. Why is this only at 5,250?
Rookie year.
Rookie year. Never mind early in his career. Is this too cheap?
Can we look at it? Can we look at the back? Is it like a...
Last time I can't look at the back right now. I couldn't hear you when I looked at the back. I can. Okay, let's do it. Fine. Let's just do it. But hold on a second here. I don't want to lose you. Just a bandwidth issue, but let's see what happens. What are we going to get here? Here's the back. I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to close this window now. That'll help us. Just static images. So here's the back of it, Adam.
Where does it say 1-of-1? Oh, yeah. It's the national.
Right, oh, it's a show card. It's a show card.
Yeah,
2017 national. That's why.
And that makes now the price point makes a ton more sense because it was not pack inserted to the normal pack as a 1-of-1, but it's still one of his rarer sort of rookie that was a normal card that came out of his rookie year numbered out of 25 or 10 or something like that. And so this is a way to get that, but like in a version that's not directly from the pack, so maybe it's a little bit less, even though it says 1-of-1 on it. So that makes sense.
Yeah. And here's a shadowless Charizard. It's in a BGS 9 holder. So this is the base set shadow. So this is the middle one, right? I believe you've got the shadowless first edition. You've got the first edition. I'm not going to pretend to know these actually. I can't speak to it. I'm sorry. I thought I knew, but there's probably more versions than I thought there were. In any event, BGS 9, $13,000 right now. Good evening, Mitch. Good to see you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Matt Ryan says, keep on pumping Mookie. Signed and slabbed in the house. What's going on? Good to see you. CC says Curry is a buyback. That's interesting. Maybe it was a buyback show card.
I think some people use this logic or these words interchangeably, like buyback or / sort of like put in the product later. It's exactly what we were thinking. I wouldn't refer to it as a buyback necessarily.
A lot of talk about Mookie. Keep pumping Mookie right there. Stop pumping Mookie right there. Mookie way too cheap. We'll grab that gold Mookie. We know Brent likes his Mookie. There's no doubt about that. Will S says, damn, that Jefferson shot up. I was interested up to 10K. Too much chance with a wide receiver, especially with Cousins throwing to you. What's up, baseball card curmudgeon? Baz. David Owen says, is Platt Portraits 75K now? Yes, it certainly seems to be. Hello, signed and slabbed. Benjamin Krebs says that's the good Charizard. So that's the first edition, shadowless. That's it, right? That's the main one. But it's the thick stamp. I don't know what that means. So that's what threw me off there, Benjamin. But thank you for letting us know that's the good Charizard. Platinum Portraits, 75. Hey, it's a great card, David. It's a pop. what is it, a pop 11 or 12 or 17? It's under 20. The platinum portraits, David, as far as I know. I think it's 11 actually. I think it's a pop 11. I might be confusing with the Champ Hardware though. Ben Diamond says, I'm winning the Emmitt Smith Green PMG. Everyone else bidding on it can go to bed. Well, good luck to you with that one. Pop 17 on the plat portraits. Thank you, David Owens. And thank you, Ben. Good luck to you, Ben Diamond. He's bidding on the PMG Green Emmitt Smith. So thank you, everybody. Let's go back. Let's scroll up. Rodman with a bid to Rodman Rubies with a bid to 12,250. We're going to scroll our way up here, Adam, and see. And Karn should be joining us any moment. Let's see what's going on. Of course, I want to scroll up to the cards that I've consigned and see how they're doing. Let's look at the cards that David Owens has consigned as well. But we're going to kind of go slowly here. Jerry Rice has been at 60 since before the night got underway. Emmitt Smith, I think, has gone up tonight. And Steve Young seems to be sitting at that $6,000 point. Terrell Owens is at $7,250 for the green PMG. Jeremy Lee's East West is at $8,000. The Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor stagnating, sitting there at $5,750, but the Hot Shots is at $23,250, 51 and a quarter for the triple autograph Bird Magic rookie card. We've got a very obscure Pelé card here, the Tupanamba Limited. I'm not gonna try and read the rest of the words. The $16,000 pop 3 graded higher. This is a PSA 7. Thing's about the size of a postage stamp. It looks like, Adam. But
we probably see that one. We don't see it nearly as much as the Alifa Boulanger or the Aquarella, but it might be third. Like it's one of his better. You'd be shocked how many Pele rookies there are. I think I've seen, I don't know, 15 or 20 of them at this point. It's probably like third or the fourth that we think about.
David Owen says the Champ Hardware is too cheap.
That's what I said.
Please bid. It's my card on consignment. Please bid on it, David, or anybody else. And same with my Jambalaya. Those are two of mine that are in the auction. Meanwhile, the Jordan here, this Jordan just disappeared. This SPX just got a bid. Yeah, we happen to be looking at it right there. Just got a bid up to $32,000. My friends from Tag Grading say, hey, Jeremy, the thick stamp on the Charizard means they are older as they were printed first. The first edition stamp appears bolder. Thank you, Tag Grading.
That's good information.
For being in the audience and watching tonight. It's always good to see my colleagues from Tag, and just nice to see you guys. And for the information, of course. Continuing up the chain here, the Steph Curry jersey numbered exquisite is at 14,500. We've got we saw what that was at. It hasn't changed. Mbappe's at 52.5 for Mbappe. Trevor Lawrence at $6,000. The Jordan auto has gone up, Adam. It's gone up to $110,000 right here. So still getting bids. I know one person who is interested in it. I wonder if he's still in on the action. I don't know.
I think we're probably thinking of the same guy. I've had 3 people tonight messaging me on the Jordan. I think there were a couple people who were hoping that it was going to end in that 50-60 range. This is a lot of money for a Jordan autograph, but like I said, it's surprising to me because you don't expect to see a Jordan autograph rookie sell for this huge number when you've seen other ones. But I think people are paying for, like people pay for the eye appeal on some vintage cards. People are paying for that eye appeal on the autograph, despite the fact, as we noted, that it's an 8 autograph. From an eye appeal perspective, it's that nice. So I love seeing that. I think it's really cool when people break the mold of like, this is what it's supposed to sell for. And instead they like go, no, I love this card. And there's one of these and I'm going to give it a shot. It's really cool to see, but I feel bad for those people who really wanted it. Cause I know there's 1 or 2 people that I'm especially thinking about right now that I know that were interested in it, but it's probably gone too high for some of those guys.
Well, you always want your friends to get the cards that they want. But at the same time, if they are being, outbid by people who have greater means or just want it more, there's always more cards out there to buy. There's always more cards. So
you're right.
Look at this $55K on this Mahomes beautiful card. These are just some very pretty cards. at auction tonight. Haven't seen much movement on these three that are my cards, but
Hey,
I'm inviting people to bid on them.
the gold vinyl Mahomes has seen quite a little bit of a jump. It's at 100 pre-BP now.
I saw that. I saw it come up in the bottom corner earlier, and that's pretty crazy.
Hey, I bet the net rate just might be David Owens as well. That's a really nice card and less than pop 20, a PSA 10. Another one of those cards
It
from
just got a bit as you were talking about it. Yeah.
The more mid 90s stuff like that. That's low. Like, we haven't focused on a lot of those because a lot of us have focused. I'm talking about me right now. I focused on like ultra high end Jordans that are not necessarily in super high end grade, but right now the hobby is very much in this, like, I want the PSA 10. And so looking back at those mid 90s cards, like some of those ones, a lot of the ones that you're selling tonight or that David's selling tonight, like those are, again, you just don't see the net rate just pop up because there's less than 20 of them.
Fair. Yeah. Kobe PMG Red has been stagnated at 70 grand for the since we've gone live. I don't remember if Duncan has had any bids. Did he start at 21.5, Adam, or was he lower?
I don't know, but I think you're right about the Kobe sitting there at 70, and I haven't stopped thinking about that one. So
Netrageous is not David Owens, he says right here. Let's bring up Karn. Karn, are you ready to come and join us?
Yes, sir.
Welcome. How are you?
$7,000 before buyer's premium on your platinum, eh?
It's not my platinum.
Oh, that's not your platinum.
Not mine. It's not mine.
We did the same thing, Karn. I said the exact same thing.
I was like cheering you on and everything.
Yeah. I like to see that because I do own a copy of it, and I'm probably going to have to put mine for sale soon. We'll see whether it's going to be next month or two. But you know what happens, right? Then it just comes down in value if you put one up too quick. So we'll see. But I do have one, and we'll see what we end up doing with it. But anything you're bidding on tonight, Karn?
Same old, man. Same old.
LeBron?
Yes, there's a one on my checklist I don't have yet, so going after that one.
All right. Well,
can you tell us, or can I DM you and can you confirm what I think it is?
I'll tell you. It's not the ultimate. It's the ultimate patch. It's not that one. Although that's on my checklist as well. The remaining. It's actually the PSA 10 SB Authentic Insert Auto.
Oh,
okay. Which is I think it's at 9,000 right now. So I'm winning. So please, no one bid on it.
It's a great card. It's a great card. You know how I feel about the Ultimate Collection, though. I had to ask if it was that one because, to me, I love that card.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a better patch. I know it's silly because a lot of those are white patches, and I should probably just cave in and go for the white patch one. But my dream is a 3-color, so let's hope.
Did this one have 2 colors? Does it just barely have 2, or is it 1?
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a like red on the bottom corner there.
You're right though. It's not, and you know me, I just don't care about the patch. I like buying the plain patch because you get it for a better price. But I know you want the nicer patch, and I get that. That makes sense.
Yeah, fair enough. I might have to go into that thinking soon as well.
So the Charizard is at 240,000 out the door right now for the PSA 10. So that's a pretty healthy number. Seems to be staying at that level consistently. And the Duncan just got a bid up from, I think, a $500 bid up to $22,000. Hello to you, Ken Wood. Welcome to the show. Collectors Canada says, I wonder which modern inserts will still be relevant 20 years from now. All these 90s Jordans selling for crazy prices. Will Mahomes kabooms or downtowns be the same in the future? We will see one day. Ken Wood says, Jeremy, I think the Duncan and Kobe PMG Reds are Brian from Cajun Cardboards. I believe they are as well, yeah. Ken Wood. I didn't know if he wanted us to talk about it or what. It's his private thing, but it's out there now. So I believe they are his. Adam, can you add anything to that? Or would you like
he's talked about it publicly. He's put it on his post. I think it's fair to say that. I know that Brian, he went hard after the red set. He's kept the Jordan, and I think moving these ones was pretty tough. The Kobe especially, this is the first one that is sold at PWCC. There was one at the beginning of 2022. We haven't seen any other ones like in the last 2 years. And so it's not a card that we actually see sell that much, considering there's 90 of them. So I think him moving that card was kind of like the jambalaya for you, Jeremy. I think that's a hard one to let go, because once you let that go, you probably don't see it again.
Yeah, it is hard. That's for sure. So yeah, Brent lets us know that Cajun openly talked about it. Simon Slab says, yeah, Brian said he's just going to focus on Jordan moving forward. So, along with rooting on the cards I'm consigning, I've been rooting these on for him as well, but I just wasn't sure if we were gonna, if it was fair for me to say whose they were, considering that I did know that, but I didn't realize he was super public. I probably did realize it, but just kind of wasn't thinking about it. So good luck to Brian on the sale of these cards. It's going to make a couple of people, or maybe one person, very happy to take them over. Okay, so Karn, we're actually, before we get into that, I got to look at this. I love this. There's two of Mahomes cards I absolutely love in the auction, and this one's at a 5. Adam, as you mentioned, it's at 105,000 now, pre-buyer's premium. That's a big number for and I'm not saying it's unjustified, because I love the card, but no auto, no patch, but it is Prism, it's gold vinyl. I mean, there's so much equity in that brand. It's nice to see, and a great card. What do you guys think of Collectors Canada's comment from earlier, where he says, I wonder which modern inserts will still be relevant 20 years from now? Will kabooms or downtowns be the same in the future? What are your guys' thoughts on kabooms and downtowns long term, especially considering the recent news with just what's going on with Fanatics and Panini and all that? And before you guys answer that, and we will start with you, Karn, the Jerry Rice PMG Red just got a bid up to 62.5, so it has had another bid tonight. But Karn, your thoughts on the kabooms and downtowns?
Yeah, so kabooms especially, I actually went in a rabbit hole of trying to collect all of LeBron's kabooms about like a couple of years ago. And it's just a super fun set to collect all the player, all the cards of the player you like in that kaboom set. And I think what would really help is if that era does get segmented with Fanatics coming in and changing guard. I think when it comes to collectors, having that focus and having that specific era to chase the full checklist of, it helps that scope of things. So if the Panini era is like a 10-year era and there's only 7 kaboom years to chase, that helps. That helps people chase that era. It's just like how the 90s works, right? The reason why 90s are kind of like this segmented like market is because people chase just 90s cards. Once it hits 2000, they're not even looking at it anymore. It creates almost an internal checklist that you can actually complete that era. So I think it really helps actually if Fanatics comes in and changes things up. It's just like the Upper Deck Exquisite era. You can actually go and chase all those cards, right? So I think it really helps if that happens.
He makes a great point there, Adam, that you now have a very limited amount of items to chase, instead of having to pick up 20 or 30 or indefinitely. They're indefinitely being added to the run. It kind of puts a hard stop on things, and that allows people to just focus on the ones that were released. It's finite, it's a checklist, and I think you make a great point there, Karn, and I agree. The fact that if Panini doesn't make football cards anymore, starting right now, and if they don't make any basketball cards anymore, starting whenever soon, that might help those that exist versus hurt them because the brand goes away. It doesn't go away, it just doesn't continue. But those that exist still, and let's face it, there are a lot of people who are going to look back at the 2010s and early 2020s as a very important part of the hobby, an era, if you will, whatever we're going to end up calling it. And the biggest and best and most exciting cards are going to be heavily pursued from that era. Adam, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I think both of your thoughts are really smart, and I agree. The idea of something being segmented, as Karn phrased it, is really a wonderful way to think about it. We saw the same thing when Upper Deck lost its license back in 2009, where it's funny, people at first didn't know how to behave. They were like, oh, this brand's going away. Is it going to maintain its, is it going to maintain its prestige? And then you look back and it's like, oh man, was it ever even really a question? We all should have thrown every dollar that we had into that stuff and getting the stuff that we could, because they couldn't make it anymore. It seems really obvious in retrospect. The thing that I'll add, though, to this conversation around the 90s specifically is it's a little bit easier with the 90s. It's a lot easier with the 90s because there's just so much fewer cards, right? Like when we're talking about key Jordan inserts from 95 and 96, the reason that those ones are key is because there were only a few that were really rare. And so somebody mentioned in the chat, I think it was Brent, mentioned like that like they're sort of random Jordans. I would push back on the word random because they're the rarest Jordan cards that are in the highest grades. And that's why it's not random. And that's why, as you look at Panini, the Panini's era, it's a lot more confusing because like there's so many things. I haven't really collected any of the modern stuff because it's so confusing to me about what will end up being significant. But the thing that's for sure is as time passes, your eye sort of focuses on the things that will be significant. And when you can feel that happening, that's the time when it's time to jump. And it might be kabooms, it might be downtowns. I still just really don't know.
How about gold prisms? Like imagine only 10-year run or 11-year run of gold prisms. Like how huge would those be? Those are, genre defining. They defined this era of sports cards this last 10 years. So yeah, it's exciting to think about.
Yeah, great thought on the golds too, for sure.
Brent responds to you, Adam. He says, I love when Adam pushes back on me. It means he's ready to cook. Leaning forward, getting into the comments. Collectors Canada follows up and says, that's what got me thinking of it. If the Panini era is over, I think those early inserts could hold up well. The problem is picking which one.
Yeah.
Good point. So let's dive a bit more into this then. If we're talking about Color Blast and Downtowns, and those are the two big ones that come to mind, which one? Oh, Kabooms as well. Kaboom, Color Blast, Downtown. Which one is going to be number one down the road? Let's get a vote from each of us. And we have no idea. We can't see the future, but I would probably put a lot of stock into both of these guys' votes because these guys have a good eye for this stuff. Karn, let's start with you. Which Color Blast, Downtown, Kaboom?
It's a tough one because Kabooms are a little easier to get. Color Blasts are a little harder to get. Color Blasts to me look better, but Kabooms have like a nostalgic touch to them, right? So that's kind of the easy way to overview them. But if we're looking down the line, I think rare wins. So I think I would choose Color Blast.
All right. Before Adam answers, Signed and Slab says Color Blast over Downtown. And Vintage Card Collector also says Color Blast. So right now, Downtown is out as far as this panel goes. Well, we haven't heard from Adam yet, but let's hear from you, Adam, before we make any final judgments here.
We'll make it really quick. Rarity wins long term. I love that Karn said that. I couldn't agree more. The only thing that I would say that's worth adding there, though, is the number of years of the Kabooms and the mania around that set. It does create a really interesting sort of like segment, like you talked about, where like you want to get each of these. I don't think they'll be worth as much as the Color Blast, but I think they'll be highly collected. If any insert from the era is, I'm much more confident in how I feel about certain parallels than I am about the inserts.
How about like the thing about Kaboom is you add a little touch of that parallel as well with the gold Kabooms, right? So that adds a little thing there as well.
Yeah. All great points. David Owens made a comment here saying Color Blast being horizontal hurts it long term, in my opinion. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he could be right. I don't know, but it does make me wonder, why don't they just make all the cards vertical so they fit in our holders better? I mean, why don't they? I don't know the answer to that. I mean, some memorabilia cards, multiplayer cards, perhaps, but I just wish they'd be consistent with these things. But anyway, that's just what do you guys? How do you guys feel about that? Am I out of line with that comment?
No, I mean, I think you're right that the comment, as silly as it sounds, it's a little true. Like, collectors don't like horizontal cards. And why not just make them all vertical? But at the same time, creativity does get affected that way, right? So I think that's the only thing for it.
I'll put my hand in the air and say I love horizontal cards, and so there's only so much you can do with that certain segment of cardboard, and I don't want to limit them in any ways. I want them to use it as extravagantly or originally as they possibly can. So I definitely don't want horizontal cards going anywhere.
Works beautifully with that Jordan LeBron right in front of the screen right there. That looks amazing.
Yeah. But when I think of the color blast, that could have been vertical. They could have made as beautiful of a card vertically as horizontally. Jerry Rice, PMG Green, up to $70,000 right now, everybody. Started the night at 60, I believe. So getting some bids in extended bidding here. All right. Ken Wood says, what about stained glass? Yeah, I mean, stained glass are some very nice cards right there for sure. Troy Iverson says, opportunity for tag to make a cool looking holder for horizontal cards. That it has been tried. I think HGA made a horizontal slab, and I gotta say, I was not a fan of it, maybe because it was new and I wasn't used to it. It just looked a little freaky to me, but I'm sure with seeing enough they could normalize, I would think for sure. Yeah, vintage card collector. I'm not talking about, for some reason, I'm not even talking about vintage cards, because there are tons of horizontal vintage rookie cards that are Bobby Orr, the one that Vintage mentions right here. Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle from 1951. Nolan Ryan, Clemente, Koufax. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Sign and slab horizontals are severely underrated. 56 top, 60. Bobby Orr looks horrible. No, it's a beautiful, beautiful card. That's your word, sign and slab. I never said horrible. I just said I prefer a vertical card. I prefer a vertical card myself.
Let me identify something real quick that's interesting about this. If you were to look back, let's just look at basketball, because it's sort of the common ground sport that we can all hit. If you look at basketball, Jordan has a few really iconic insert cards, right? We can just name them real quick. But more so the parallels. The parallels have stood up way better than the inserts have. They've surpassed the inserts. If you look at the old Beckett's, a lot of times the parallel or the inserts were worth more or on the same level. And the way that the parallels have grown is leaps and bounds more than the inserts. And if you look at Kobe, it's kind of the same thing. So then you look at LeBron. Is it going to be the same thing with LeBron? And then what are the iconic inserts of Kobe other than the ones that were already iconic of Jordan? What are the iconic inserts of LeBron? I think of iconic LeBron inserts, and I actually think of exquisite autograph patches, which people don't think of as inserts, but they basically were. I don't know that every era actually has iconic insert cards. And so it's fun to think about, but maybe the right question isn't what are the iconic inserts, but just what are the iconic cards going to be from different eras, because every era has that, but not every era has an iconic insert.
Very, very well. Yeah, very well said, Adam. You're exactly right. And if you think about it, the insert craze mania really stems from the second half of the 90s. So, and then what happened was the 2000 decade went by, and it wasn't about inserts anymore. It was about autos and patches and auto mem cards. And then the 2010s came, and people wanted something else again. They wanted the chase, and that's when Panini came with the gold prisms, and you had more inserts coming out. And then even Upper Deck and hockey, they got heavy into the inserts and parallels when they brought back Fleer Retro. They did it for all sports except baseball in 2012, and those were all about the inserts, and that kicked off this whole new rejuvenation of the insert craze. So, and it made a lot of us collectors of it are really happy, and I still love a lot of that. But now it's almost to the point where we want original designs.
We do.
Enough of these tribute designs going back, Upper Deck has done a lot of PMGs now. It's enough. Probably too much. I'm personally not interested in any new PMGs that come out, because it's just enough. Come out with something original again, please, to give us something new. That's what we want. That's what I want. I shouldn't speak for everybody.
It got me thinking real quick. What is the defining insert of the 2000s era? Like I got the 90s, I got the 2010s, I got the 2020s. What's the 2000s era?
It doesn't exist. That's why I asked the question, Karn.
It's parallels.
It's parallels. It's gold. It's gold chrome refractors.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, that's it.
But that's not an insert. Like there's nothing from the 2000s except for, I mean, like what's LeBron? This is the question, Karn, for you because you're the LeBron guy. What's the defining LeBron insert?
Can't really think of one. Like I think about like 2010s. There's a lot of galactic collecting, like Revolution Galactics. So there's a little bit of Galactics, but that's 2010s. I can't think of anything in the 2000s.
My best answer is his 03 Jambalaya and his Flair hot hands. Like that's all I got, and those are not. Like that's very niche at this point.
Even as PMG, like it's a tough card with all the bubbling and all that, right? So,
but that's a parallel. That's another parallel.
Very true.
The insert, the true insert, like I don't want to say it died going into the LeBron era, but truly there hasn't been an iconic insert really until since 1997. Am I crazy in saying that? What's the most iconic insert that exists today? Since 1997. There's your question.
Yeah.
I mean, unless we're going to get into auto patches, which I think is a completely different category. When I think of inserts, I'm thinking of like standard thick, like 35 point and lower cards. I'm not thinking about anything thicker than that. I'm not thinking about any auto patches.
Yeah.
Those aren't inserts to me. Technically, they're inserts into that product, I guess, but it's a whole different thing that we're not, if you're an inserts collector, you're not also collecting auto patches because they're inserts. You're collecting auto patches maybe because you collect auto patches, but they're completely looked at as two totally different types of cards because I don't know any insert collector, Adam, and we know a lot of them who's like as passionate about exquisite or the cup or ultimate collection auto patches as they are about the inserts that we're thinking of. And that's something that can be confusing for some people, new to the hobby or newer to the genre.
Part of that, and we've talked about this for a while, we could obviously Jeremy cut us off whenever, but I think part of that is that like you look at the players of the era, LeBron had exquisite inserts in his playing days. Jordan didn't, right? And so like the reason that the Jordan inserts, part of the reason, not the only reason, because you know how much I love these cards, but part of the reason that the Jordan inserts are so beloved is that those are the best cards for Jordan. They're not, for LeBron, like Karn, you're a LeBron guy. I have a few LeBrons. My best two LeBrons are both exquisite insert cards. And so I think it's about wanting the best of what a player has, and the 2000s and since, a player's insert is far surpassed by the cool autographed memorabilia cards they have, in my opinion.
100% agreed.
Let's go to some comments. Lots of good stuff coming in right after Adam's about to cook from Brent Wire, deep value investor, Mr. Pareto. Always good to see you, Brent. All right, so let's see what we have. Collectors Canada says, I think it also helps that kabooms, downtowns, and color blasts, etc., are ending right as Panini was starting to make way too many of them. Yes, that's going to help them. I agree completely. John says, Upper Deck Exquisite are the most beautiful cards ever made. Too bad Players Associations made it impossible for hobbyists to have Upper Deck produce such masterpieces in NBA, NFL, and MLB. I agree with you, John. That would have been great. Upper Deck, I think, does make the nicest cards out there. Tristan Lee says, hey guys, what did I miss? Okay, so everybody, we're going to start over from the beginning so Tristan Lee can see everything. Tristan, I'm just bugging. Great to have you on the show. You missed a lot, but thanks for joining at the moment. Mitch says, limited logos is an insert. I call that the iconic insert of the 2000s. And yeah, I mean, that's fair. It's a different niche genre of card, but he's not wrong in that comment because that decade was all about auto patches, right? So, but a different, we need to delineate from inserts from being, well, we're like 90s inspired and 90s to auto patches, 130 point and up sort of thing. John says it's up to the hobby in general to call out the PAs for change. It's bad for business if fans start directly hating the PAs. 10 grand per license max, free for all. Don't see that ever happening again, John, but you never know. Never say never. Joe Perot says, I'll take Noise Boys over Downtown. Yeah, I will too. But that's an apples and oranges kind of thing, right? Because Noise Boys are from the 90s, Downtowns are from the 2010s. And if you kind of just join back, Joe, we were talking about like what 2010's insert is going to is just going to last as being valuable and hotly pursued down the road. Kabooms, Downtowns, Color Blasts, and the such. Ben Krebs says not an insert, but 2008 Topps Chrome is iconic if we're talking parallels. For sure. Zach Swisher says, is the 57-58 variation in 07 Chrome considered an insert? And by the way, Zach, I love those two. Adam, your response to the question, please.
I don't know. I mean, the question between what a pair, there's lines. It's like 97 Showcase. It has like the 3 rows. Like, are those parallels? Or they? Some of these questions are a little bit hard. I'm not super familiar with the 57s, whether it parallels the whole set. And so if it parallels the whole set, I generally think of it as a parallel. If it parallels part of the set, I kind of think of it more as an insert. I don't know that set well enough to say.
Well, let me just add this little wrinkle into things. There are parallels of inserts, right? You can have an insert card and have 3 different parallels of it or
That's
more.
right.
But are there inserts of parallels? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense, right? So I love a parallel of an insert. To me
too.
Right? Yeah. That's some cool, and that applies to kabooms.
Yeah.
Kabooms have the regular, the silver, the gold, and the greens.
I think that might actually really help kabooms down the line because they have that gold parallel. So
yeah.
Yep. I think, and they also sort of correlate to the 90s. Like some of the best Jordan inserts have. We're talking about the gold Ultra Stars just a little while ago. It's one of the best looking cards. You're talking about how you have the Shaq, Jeremy. The Ultra Stars Jordan's a great card, but the gold Ultra Stars is on a whole nother level.
That's the one I have. I have the gold.
I know.
I know
it's amazing. The Slam Bams or the Bams is a great card, but the Slam Bams, the Fusion, that's the silver, but the gold one that has like the die, like the parallel of the insert, the highest parallel of the best inserts. Those cards, like the gold kabooms, those are some of the most sought after cards for sure.
Mitch says, I don't think it's fair to say the patch autos aren't inserts. I think that's just the delineation between 90s and 2000s insert collectors. It's not like they're buying 2000 inserts that aren't auto patches. So I do think it is. I'll tell you why I think it is fair, actually. I'm not saying they're not inserts, but they're different inserts. They're a different class of insert. And here's the reason why. Because back in the day, most of the cards that came out of a pack weren't inserts. They were the base cards, and you were lucky to get an insert. You know, the pack odds were tough on most of them. Maybe you got a couple inserts in a box. Nowadays, you get one. You open a pack of the Cup or Exquisite or NT. You're getting one base card and 6 inserts. So what's the insert? Is the base card the insert? Because when you get a pack, insert to me is inserted at a lower pack ratio than anything than the base set. Nowadays, inserts are inserted at a higher frequency than base cards are in some products. So I think it is fair to say that they're not the same insert as before, because you're guaranteed 4 autos in a pack of Upper Decks, the Cup as an example. 1 base card, maybe 2 in some packs. So there's a humongous difference. And I think it needs to be addressed. It needs to be just kind of thought of in that way. There needs to be that framework around it somehow. Adam.
So real quick, we have gotten to the point in the auction where we're seeing just a few bids here and there. We're at the point where it wouldn't be shocking if it ended anytime now. We always want to call that out just in case somebody's getting so much into the conversation that they sort of forget what they're looking at. We are here.
I just have to say that this would be by far the shortest episode ever. We're usually another hour and a half to go. So if we're, I
think another half an hour. We end in the 10 o'clock hour sometimes.
We go 3.5 hours usually on this show.
I know, Jeremy, isn't it? It's 9:50.
We've only been on for 2 hours and 20 minutes. We usually go 3.5 hours. So there's another hour. Oftentimes there's another hour. We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
I'm watching the clock though. Don't worry. I am.
I always would hate if somebody doesn't get their bids in because they're thinking it's going to be a lot longer and it's not. And the last time it got down to 9 seconds and there was only a couple bids right at that time. So I'm just saying it just in case. But the thing
get your bids in, people. Don't stop bidding yet. Don't stop bidding yet.
The thing that is okay. So I just want to talk about this exquisite thing just real quick because I think it's really interesting. There's a number of people in the chat that are bringing up the exquisite, specifically the limited logos. Everybody's like gravitating towards the limited logos. And thinking about that being like the insert of the era. And I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea. But one thing that you were just talking about is really interesting. I thought about this a lot. There's like inserts that are really difficult to pull. And so Jambalaya is a perfect example. 1 in 720 packs, 15 cards in the set, 1 in 10,800. And that's one of the sells points on it. But at some point, the story turns from being about the pack odds to more so being about like the total population, right? Yeah. It's more about how often does that card come up for sale? How often do we see it move? And so, when you think about like the limited logos as being an insert, we're never going to think about them in terms of pack odds, but what we will think about them with is how often we see them move. The last 2 years, we've seen them move a ton as the hobby exploded, and we've seen a lot of like high dollar value. A lot of people have cashed out and made their money. But what's interesting is as we move further away from that and people start looking at them, our friend Brent and we both have a LeBron limited logos card. People are interested to see when that card moves at this point in the same way that they're interested to see when an insert from the 90s moves. That's really rare. It's the exact same principle. And so I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe that we will stop thinking about pack odds as much, and we'll think more during this era about like key LeBron type cards. Because we're talking about the 2000s right now, right? Like key LeBron cards, how often they move, when was the last time we saw it move. Right now, people still think about limited logos and some of those cards as just autograph patches. I think the time will come where people won't think about them as much as autograph patches, and they'll think about them more like we think about inserts as like the card, not just the stuff that's on the card. If that makes sense. I lost you guys.
I think you're right.
No thought.
No, you made a great point there that, inserts were always a pack odds sort of thing. And that's what drove them, and their value was how hard they were to hit. Nowadays, you're getting inserts in every, when we're talking auto patches, you're getting an auto patch in every pack you open. Sometimes you're getting 2, 3, or 4 of them. So they're not traditional 90s traditional inserts. It's a whole new breed. Whole new breed. So when a new issue comes out, you look at the 90s issues like Fleer Ultra as an example, metal, whatever. Most of the cards out of your pack were base cards. Most of the pack out of a box or case were base cards. Now a minority of the cards are base cards and the rest are inserts. So it's not, I don't know anybody that calls limited logos or honorable numbers, or I don't know anyone who refers to them as inserts. Not saying they're not technically inserts, but nobody cares that they're inserts. It doesn't matter that they're inserts. They're auto patches, they're serial number to 50 or the jersey number or 10 or 25 or whatever it is. When we think about inserts, we're not thinking about limited logos. We're just not. Now, not to say, right? That's just the way the hobby is right now. But not to say that they are not inserts. Sure, they are if you want to be technical about it, because they're not base cards, but there's so much more than inserts, really. They're inserts with memorabilia, with autographs. I mean, that's...
And a good point is also like a collector. I know collectors that say they don't buy inserts at all, but buy exquisite limited logos and noble nameplates. So there definitely is something there that makes them different. However, technically, I think it was Mitch. Technically, he is correct that they are inserts by definition. But I think
because they're not base cards.
Yeah, but there is something deeper there for sure.
Oh, for sure there is. Yeah.
I would argue that the deeper thing is the fact that it's considered an insert. That by being the card of the era, the way that it is, that we'll think about it being a card rather than just think about it being an autograph piece of memorabilia. Like the insert to me is the artwork. It's it's important that it is considered like a card rather than just considered an autograph. And I think we're moving in that direction. I don't think a lot of people are there yet.
Well, Mitch throws out this one. He says, I think if we didn't care about limited logos as inserts, which we don't, we wouldn't have them outsell foundations with 10% of the print run. I don't know, Mitch. I think you're grasping at straws there. I don't see that. I don't see that at all, because foundations, and we're talking about cards in Upper Decks, the Cup, it comes down to what people like. It's not just about whether it's labeled an insert or not. It really comes down to the fact that limited logos are bigger patches. Foundations are quad patches. It's a completely different thing. I'm actually really surprised that you think it's because we consider them inserts that they outsell foundations. Unless I must be reading that wrong, because I just don't think that's true at all. From my experience of collecting these things since they were invented, really, I just don't know that. I don't see that. But
Jeremy, are there examples where autograph patches in hockey are the same size as something in a brand, but the one that has a specific name to it is worth way more than the other one?
Yeah, for sure.
Like what?
Because oh, sorry, go ahead, Karn.
No, what are you thinking of, Karn, when you say yeah? I'm just curious. I can't think of one.
I think what he's saying is like something with a similar size patch, like a limited logos, would outsell foundations because limited logos has more brand equity, I think. And another one is like a Future Watch auto patch. A Future Watch auto patch has the same size patch as a lot of other patch cards, but it sells a lot more because it's got the brand equity of a Future Watch patch.
And beautiful designs that people love the looks of. Like let's keep in mind that people have to like the looks of a card too. And the limited logos foundations comparison, I mean, it's really not that close to me and most people. That limited logos are just much more beautiful year over year than foundations. And I think that's a big reason why they outsell them in value. And more set collectors. People want to, and if it's a set, now you're collecting a set of inserts. I mean, now you're back to the whole set insert thing. But I'm not going to say that they're not inserts. They are inserts because they're not base cards. But it's a different breed of insert altogether that needs to be looked at differently, and it is looked at differently.
What Grotman cards, I think he said his name is Mitch, I think he's saying is like is something that Karn just referenced, this idea of brand equity. Like we're thinking about two different things sort of in the same way, where, let me figure out the right way to say this. When a card becomes worth more because of the brand or because of the insert that it is, and not just the aesthetics and not just the rarity, but like those other brand insert brand type things, like, are what add the value. That's when it becomes, again, more like art, more like what we want to see the card become rather than just an autograph patch. And in basketball, I know this is true. Like there's plenty of cards where it's like similar autograph, similar patch, similar aesthetics, but one's worth way more because of what it is and because of how people view that set. And that could be because some people put together the set. It could be because people think of it as an insert, or because of brand equity. Those are all sort of wrapped up in the same sort of like thought. I think that's what Mitch is saying.
Yeah, I caught most of that. I had a thought that was going to come from it, but unfortunately it's escaped my mind at the moment. Adam, you did trigger something there. I hope it comes back to me, because I thought it was a point worth sharing. In the meantime, while I put that on the back burner, John says insert is an obsolete 90s term, guys. Debate solved. I mean, but it came back in the 2010s. It just did. It did. Mitch says, I think the insert and it being on an iconic insert gives a lot of extra value. Yeah, for sure. Brent says, guys, just want to say I'm so thankful for having this show. Made a margarita and enjoying it. Brent, love to hear it. Thank you so much. Zach Swisher, by the way, Adam and Jeremy, I think it was a 41 of 76 autos last time we had this show, up to 52 of 76 after grabbing 5 more at the National. George Mikan was a huge add to the 75th anniversary auto collection. Congratulations, Zach. You are making progress on your set. John says, Ice Premier patches out of 10 have the greatest patch auto. I'm not going to argue with that. I love those. Absolutely love them. says, but exquisite looks more classy. Fair. I think they're pretty different. I like both, to be honest. I like those two maybe the most out of any auto patches, including Cup RPAs. Mitch says, Adam is nailing what I'm trying to get across. Maybe foundations aren't the best comparison, but there are other similarly sized patch autos that don't get nearly as much hobby love. Yeah, and that's simply because they're not liked as much in design. I don't think it really has much to do with because they're all inserts. They're I don't know. Maybe I'm missing the issue there. I don't think I get it. But that's okay. I don't need to get it. Oh, I'd like to. Back to this one. This is at $120,000 now, Adam. The Jordan rookie with the gold auto is up to $120,000. So that's taking another bit of a leap there. We'll see who the lucky. Well, maybe we will. Maybe we won't see who the lucky winner of that's going to be. Rosemarin says 03 exquisite limited logos is the best looking set of all time. And Joe says, my Noise Boys comment was not suggesting that Ultramodern will not hold up as well as 20-year. The aesthetics of the prime 90s are on another level. I see what you're saying, Joe. Yeah, I didn't think you meant the former, but the latter, yeah, what Joe is saying is that whatever's come out in the 2010s is he would prefer the inserts from the 90s. How do you guys feel about that there? I think we're all on the same page with Joe. I know I am.
Yeah, the 90s is just the best generation for inserts of all time. I don't think it will ever be beat just based on just the fact that it was the start of it all and everything was super cool and well done. So
it depends on whether you like art or you like getting closer to the game. I like the art, so I'm with you guys.
But Adam, sorry, not versus autos and patches versus color blasts and kabooms and that stuff and the new inserts of the 2010s.
What Fleer did in the 90s nothing's come close. Nothing.
Yeah. All right, so what's going on? We're down to 40 seconds on the clock here. The bids we're not seeing anything in the lower left. Oh, there's one just sort of popped up there momentarily. So they're starting to come. Why don't we do this? Why don't we do a new sort?
Okay, while you're sorting, Jeremy, while you're sorting real quick, I don't know if they're the two guys that are bidding on the gold autograph, the Fleer card, but one of them just said something to me I think was really interesting. I asked him if it was the most expensive MJ auto that's not a buyback, because there's one set that made 23 buyback Jordan autograph rookies, and those are by far and away the most expensive. But I asked him if it was the most expensive non-buyback ever, and he replied 144 grand, head exploding emoji. 100% yes, this will be the most expensive Jordan rookie auto that's ever been auctioned and on the books.
Gold ink. That's a tough one to find.
Yeah, and he said not including the buyback. He said he's crazy and a little bit disappointed that he didn't win it, but he can't pay that much. And so there's a lot of people today that are disappointed in that one, that were really excited to see it. But it's neat to see a card that, just because of something as simple as the color of the autograph, like Karn just said, that's what drives it. In this case, it's pretty cool.
You know what I think it is? I think there's someone like completing the set of all the colors of the autographs of Fleer Jordan. That's what it is. Silver ink, the black ink, the gold ink. It's a set chase.
Could be. It could be.
I know someone that was going after it, and that's the exact reason why he wanted it. So.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. I thought you were joking.
No, seriously. And then you add in the buyback out of 23. It just completes like a set of a run of all the colors of a Jordan rookie being autographed.
It's pretty cool.
All right, we now have the sort by highest price. Some bids are coming in. So the clock is still going here. A couple more comments. We'll just sit on the top 3 most expensive cards in the auction for a few minutes here. Zach Swisher. Zach says, I made a comment above about considering baseball. Is baseball simply just about collecting Bowman first, or is it others? Zach, I am not the best person to answer that, but what I can tell you from what I see covering auctions is that, yeah, it's all about the Bowman Chromes. It's all about the Bowman Chromes. I don't know. I can't think of any baseball insert card from the 2010s or 20s. Maybe I'm just not aware of them. There has to be some, I'm sure, but I don't know if they get much love. It's all about seems to be all about the rookie card, the rookie auto. the 90s had some really nice inserts, just like other sports, just like basketball did. Karn, you're kind of trying to think about anything come to mind for you that
there's 90s stuff, obviously. But yeah, in terms of an iconic 2000s, 2010, like it's all Bowman Chrome is all that really comes to mind, and all the colors. That's about it.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else, Zach, but thanks for reiterating. Richie Rocket says, do you think 90s inserts look the best to us because we grew up with them? Whereas well, first of all, I gotta just jump in right here and say, I didn't grow up with them. I didn't really discover them until like 2017. And then I went pretty crazy discovering, learning, and buying them. So I can say no for me, but I'll continue the question. So he says, do you think 90s inserts look the best to us because we grew up with them? Whereas in 20 years, Gen Zers would view the current day inserts as the best looking, as this is what they grew up with. I think some people will go back to Color Blasts and Kabooms and Downtowns, and they will like those over the 90s, but that's gonna be another generation of people. Adam, you sort of shook your head. What were your thoughts initially?
I can't imagine that we'll get 20 years from now and people will say that there were inserts from this era that were as nice as in the 90s.
Is he saying as nice? Well, yeah, he is. But again, don't underestimate the nostalgia that kind of brainwashes us into loving some of these things.
And maybe you're right. I mean, I'm not saying there's not going to be incredibly valuable cards. We're talking his question specifically about inserts. I'm not trying to with both parallels and inserts. What Fleer did in the 90s it's like way better than anything that's come since then. And I don't think that's maybe you're right, Jeremy. Maybe I'm just brainwashed.
No, you're right. You're right. And here's why, because anything that's come since outside of some Panini products are just a rehash of the 90s designs.
That's what I think.
So no, I think you're right. That's why there's going to be a difference between the 90s designs and then their copycats from the 2010s, kind of in the same group because they're the same designs or just with small tweaks, versus the inserts of the 2010s being the Kabooms and the Downtowns and the Color Blasts, and of course ignoring auto patches because that's a whole other classic card.
Yeah, and it doesn't take anything away from those cards either, by the way. Like I collect plenty of stuff that's like made in the last 20 years that I love, but like every time I look at, again, the inserts and the parallels of the 90s and I think about the what went into those, you look at a set, one of mine and Jeremy's that both of us really love, the 97 EX 2001 set. Like I don't think that a card like that has ever been replicated. The base card, even, it's got so many different levels and different things that needed to happen to make that set. I don't think that companies today are willing to do all of the insane things that they had to do back then to make a card that looks like that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm brainwashed, but like that's how I feel, at least.
Brent says, I'm the baseball guy. Sign and Slab says, baseball is way more than Bowman First, Heritage Refractors and Throwbacks, Topps Flagship Parallels, Topps Chrome Autos, Topps SSP Variations, Dynasty. Is any of that insert, though? That all sounds like parallels to me. Are there any inserts in these Topps products and the Bowman Chrome and the Heritage? Are there any inserts? Because we're getting inserts in other sports, and that's because it's Panini and Upper Deck. I'm question. Are any of these that Signed and Slabbed are saying, are any of those inserts, or are they all parallel? And like even a variation is just a parallel, right? Same card, image variation, I believe. And I don't mean just a parallel. Parallels are awesome too. Don't get me wrong, but are they inserts? And I think that's. But thanks for the information and just kind of rounding out the discussion there, because was aware of some of those, but I just don't collect modern baseball at all. So I can't speak to it, but always good to get the information. Nathan Burns, still high bidder on the MJ Gold. Congratulations. Is that the Ultra Stars Gold, Nathan?
That's what I thought he probably was saying. Maybe he means the autograph. Probably the Gold Stars, though.
Oh, Sign and Slab. Ginter stained glass and baseball are cool. Those are very cool. I collect those myself, but not actually, I do have some from 2013, and those are inserts. So there's one that I have, some that I didn't even think of. So yeah, love those cards, SNS. Zach Swisher, I can see real ones, autos qualifying, but don't think they're big inserts. Collector says, do you think we're getting bored of Brady contenders out of 100? We see one every auction. Feels like we've barely talked about it today. I don't know if we're getting so bored of it, but we see it enough. Yeah, listen, if we see one a year, we'd be focusing on it a lot more, but it's not a card that is, you can find one because they do come up on a monthly basis, it feels like. So, but let's see where it's at. It should be just above here. It is the most expensive card in the auction, currently at $240,000 out the door. But yeah, I mean, I think we saw these going over $1 million, Adam, earlier on in our PWCC Premier Show career.
I think there's been I don't know if it's completely accurate. I know it's above 23, but I think we're at like 29 Brady Champ tickets auctioned in the last 2 years out of 100. So
yeah,
it's life-changing money, and that makes sense. If you got something that you can go pay off your house with, like
it's an awesome card though. It's one of the best cards out there, but it just comes up way too many times.
The time will come where it won't. The time will come where it won't, but we still haven't gotten to that point yet.
But so it'll be a cycle, right, guys? Because right now this card that you had to pay $1.5 million for, 1 million, 1.2, whatever, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, now you can get for $250, or maybe it'll keep going up tonight. Let's say it ends at this. You're picking this up for $240, and the next one comes out and someone else buys it for $240. And then, all these that are in the float, these 29 copies that are the ones that are being, let's say that is the float, not the pop, but the float. Once they start to land in collectors' hands and they get locked down for a while, then we're not going to see one for a while. And then we'll see one for the first time in a year. And then that's going to go, whoa, this is rare again. It's hard to find again. It'll start to creep back up in value. And it's just going to cycle up, down, up, down. I feel like that's what will happen unless you go a very long time without any of them hitting the market.
And then we'll probably see one sell for a lot and a bunch will come out again. It's just cyclical. I agree.
Exactly. It's a cycle. You have to figure out where do you actually get in and strike, either as a buyer or a seller in those cycles. And that's where being savvy really comes in handy. And it's not easy to do. It just isn't. Brent says first Bowman Chrome autos in color are what it's about. Way too many rookie cards these days, talking about baseball. Mitch says, I definitely am a victim to wanting to buy all the cards I couldn't have as a kid that I wanted. I think collectors will always behave this way. Maybe I'm wrong. No, man, that's exactly right. I mean, that's what drives I think that's what's at the core of the hobby is the nostalgia. It's wanting things that you maybe couldn't have. And that's why we see people who have been transient in the hobby come and go.
Yep.
Zach says collectors, it is not the most iconic football. We see 86 Fleer sell every time. Okay. John says back then in the 90s, you had almost 10 sports card companies trying to make the nicest cards ever and would be willing to try new things to outsmart the competition. Now there's no competition. It's a good point, right? That's why we might not. That's why today's card companies are, and when I say that, I'm thinking about Upper Deck right now. My favorite card company, because I love the cards, but they are rehashing old designs because we want some of them to come back, but don't keep doing it over and over again. Once is good. Please don't keep doing it. But I fear they're going to keep on doing it. Now I'm just going to stop collecting them.
Can I hit on John's comment real quick, Jeremy?
Please.
So I think that this is like one of the things that if you go back and you talk to some of the real hobby lifers, Gene McLeod from Arena Design and some Mike Phillips who's now at Upper Deck, like they talk about wanting when they were at Fleer. They've got these amazing stories about how they wanted to create something that had never been done before. They wanted to use the highest end materials, and they picked things that they tried to have as like goals that were just sort of crazy things to try to hit. Like they talk about like the first time they did the EX 2000 set and all of the things that went into manufacturing those cards. And we don't think very much of the EX 2000 base set just because it wasn't like super uncommon. But like you look at that card now, just look at a base card from 2000 EX and ask yourself, when was the last time that a base card came out that looked anything like this, that had this level of detail in it. Like, it doesn't exist. It doesn't happen anymore because they did insane things to make those cards, took lots of chances. And these days you take big chances like that, sometimes you lose your job, but they were trying to figure out how to create a pack that was $5 a piece. And that was the ultra high end. It was just a different world. I'd love to see a world again where people want to take chances on these big time sets and do things that are really unique. Because Jeremy's exactly right. Rehashing the same things over and over again, sometimes that's what sells. But in the long term, we need real originality in the cards.
Agree. All right, let's go to some more here. Michael Thomas says, I feel that our insert generation of the 90s is the greatest, even during the junk wax era. Although I feel like it's after the junk wax, right? Junk wax ended at about 93. And then you get into what I dubbed the creative era, which is like 95 to 2000. And then you get into the auto mem era, even though they started earlier in like 96, but they didn't really start to really pump them out until the 2000s. So, but still, we'll continue the comments. Says, I love the absolute memorabilia tools of the trade. Yeah, those were cool. Lead certified jersey autos. Big fan of action packed. Yeah, great call outs there, Michael. Collectors Canada says, eventually those Brady's are going to go into hiding. I think so. And then they're going to come out of hiding again. Let's be real. They go into hiding, lower supply, higher demand and price, brings more out, and then people are willing to cash out and pay off their houses. Adam says, Chris Swaney says, pay off your house where? I mean, if you're selling, I don't know, $1 million when they were selling for that, it can pay off houses in most places at 200 grand. Yeah, maybe not a whole house, but maybe a mortgage. Adam? That's
a lot of people have mortgages under 200 grand. Like, this is 200. Somebody, if this card sells at this price today, they'll make $220,000. Plenty of people have mortgages less than 220, after they've paid them off for a number of years. I don't think there's anything weird about that.
Vintage Card Collector says the Rice, which we're looking at right now, the Jerry Rice PMG Green sold for $150,000 10 months ago. Huge drop tonight. Yeah, I mean, it's and look at the clocks at 0. Is the auction over? No, it is not over. It is not over. It's going to reset, as you just saw. But I just will say, and I mean, this might not age well, but the auction is not over yet. It's not over yet. This could go up more, but it easily could stay.
I sent the message to a friend, and I said, "Win the Jerry Rice. It's so cheap."
Yeah. Is your friend bidding?
No, I was just telling him, like, that's one of the ones that popped out to me. Like, that's a great card at that price.
It's the best Jerry Rice card in the world, right?
Yeah, it's got to be, right? We'll see what happens. I mean, when you think about what a Kobe would sell for green, and I know this is out of 15 and basketball is out of 10, and it's basketball, not football. We think about what the Kobe, the MJ would sell for now. The Kobe is for sale. The Kobe's for sale in this auction, right?
Is a red.
Where is it? Oh, it's the red. It's the red. Thank you. What's the Kobe green worth? Is it $1 million, Adam?
The Kobe green last moved for $2 million. It's the most expensive Kobe Bryant card ever. So
now, would it be $2 million today? Don't know. But if the Kobe's $2 million, and let's say it's $1 million today, and the Jordan's $3 million today, or $2 million, why is Jerry Rice? I know it just seems like something's a bit off. Hey, look, the Brady got a bid. Brady's up to 210 now. Just went up $10,000. So that's something to note. But yeah, this does seem like good value relative to Jordan and Kobe in my mind. But
even Shaq, the Shaq did a crazy number just recently too.
Yeah,
what did it do?
Like 200 and something, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, think about this, Karn. Right now, the Jerry Rice green is just a little bit more than the Kobe red, and we feel like the Kobe red is low. So it shows you the imbalance between football and basketball. It's always been there, but that's a pretty good way to look at it, I think.
Shaq did 175.
Okay.
Big number.
155?
Yeah.
175. Adam, one thing though is that like the Kobe is in the altered slab, which I think must be holding it back a little bit, even though it might not be altered in all, factually it might not be altered, but it says altered on the slab. That's going to hold it back. So there's even more of a disparity between the two, right? Like, All right, let's go to some more comments here. Collectors Canada, would you rather have the Brady Contenders out of 100 or a PSA 10 Bowman Chrome refractor?
Contenders, easy for me. Not even close.
Wait, yeah. Karn, do you think the answer there might be what's the grade on the Contenders? I had sat here and I looked at this question for a while. If it's a 7.5 or an 8 on the Contenders, I do think about it a little bit because the Chrome refractors, aren't there only like 6 of those? That's a huge card.
It is a huge card, but to me, the Contenders is the iconic Brady card. And I don't care about the grade that much on it. Like it's out of 100, serial numbered. It's the one you think about, and I think it's a grail of the hobby in general. So I don't know. I take it in any grade personally.
Yeah. I would too. I would love that card. I don't underrate the Chrome refractor though. Like especially in a 10, it's a pretty limited card, but in a 10, it's really a grail. I think if it was like a 9 or an 8.5, I'm taking the Contenders. If it's an 8 or a 7.5, I think it's pretty close personally.
I'm taking the Contenders pretty much in any grade versus any Bowman Chrome refractor, because the Bowman Chrome refractor, it's not a rare card. Like there's lots of them printed. It's condition scarcity is what it is. Whereas
it's pretty rare.
You only have 100 champ tickets altogether.
Well, but how many Chrome? I mean, you're talking about the Brady refractor. Like there's like 1,000. Like
sorry. Yeah, I am talking about the Brady Bowman Chrome refractor. Yeah, that's what
it is really rare. There's probably only like 250, 500.
It's not we're not talking about like night and day here. It's just, and it's the only Chrome refractor card. It's not like there's Tops. It's not like there's Finest of Brady. And again, so I'm curious. What did the last PSA 10 sell for of that card?
The last PSA 10 did $336,000. That's fair, but the top end of that card is like $500K. But a 7.5 Contenders has done like $800K before.
When was the sell? When was the sell of the 10? That's the question.
The PSA 10 at its highest, $498,000, was October 2022.
But the last sell?
The last sell was February of this year at 336.
I
think it would probably do around 200 right now. So it would probably be in the vicinity of a 7.5 Contenders.
It's close. I'm just saying it's close.
But I think Jeremy's point, like it's still like it's rare in its grade. I know it's a rare card. There's still like there's only 250 or 500 of them, but the Contenders, there's only 100 of them. So, and it's the iconic one.
I don't even think it's close. To me, it's not like as far as what I would want, because the champ ticket is it's a special card. It's serially numbered out of 100. The Bowman Chrome has no serial number on it, so you don't know what the print run is. We can speculate, do the reverse engineer the product, but at the end of the day, we don't know how many were printed. So there's so much value in that serial number on the back, knowing with definitiveness that there's only 100 of them made. And like Karn said, it's a hobby grail. The Bowman Chrome, I don't see it as a hobby grail.
Man, I just disagree with you guys totally, which I love. I love it when we disagree. It's the most fun thing that happens on the show.
Well, it's like our friend Brent says, agreement is not required.
No, it's not. And reasonable people can disagree. That's my favorite saying. But you're talking. You guys are both really underrating the Bowman Chrome card, because it's not that it's not iconic. It's probably like a top 5 or 6, maybe top 8 most iconic football card ever made. And like that's the way that it is. It's not. I agree. It's probably not as iconic as that.
I can name 8 off the top of my head that are more iconic.
I don't think you can.
Barry Sanders.
I don't think it is.
Barry Sanders' 89 score is more iconic than the Bowman Chrome. The Bowman Chrome. Oh, for sure it is.
No, it's not. There's one Chrome Brady card. So we did maybe you'll poo-poo the iconic 100 list, but like way more people voted for that Brady Chrome than they voted for the Barry Sanders. A lot of people from our era are going to vote for that Barry Sanders, and I get that. But there's a billion of that card, and so a lot of people have it felt like it lost its luster. The Chrome refractor.
Where did the Ken Griffey Jr. appear on? Where did Michael Jordan appear on the list? Talking about a billion cards made. I mean, those are both top 10s, right? And there's no shortage of those.
Barry Sanders is not Michael Jordan.
No, but he is a football.
Make that really clear. Like he's not
Michael Jordan of football.
No, he's not. He's not. Like Barry Sanders is maybe like a top, like all-time athlete? Is he on the top like 50 or top 100?
He's probably the second most popular collected football player behind Tom Brady. Never mind Mahomes and all the new guys.
He's nowhere close to Michael Jordan. He's not. Like that's not the conversation.
Well, okay. Let's move on. Because I don't think we're gonna come to any sort of agreement where we can move on. So let's agree to disagree, and agreement is not required. Okay, let's keep on going. I don't know how to say your name. Says Jerry Rice just not as attractive because people don't believe he would be as great in modern times, which is why people love Barry Sanders. Unique skills, way more. Would Jerry Rice not be as good in that modern day? It's always hard to compare people between eras. Will says, if you think Jerry Rice wouldn't be great in modern times and you don't know football. Diamond Card Collector votes for the Bowman Chrome Refractor. Says it's a pop 7, I guess, in PSA 10. I think that's what he's getting at. Simon Slab says 144 Brady refractors in the PSA pop, 7 total PSA 10s. And several of those are going to be reslabbed, so it's likely overstated as well. Collectors Canada loves starting these debates. Michael Thomas says, I don't know, Michael Thomas. Just send an email, please, to Tag Grading. Go to the website and send them an email. Brady Champ Ticket is the vote by Y. Rosmarin. Sign and Slab says Michael Jordan appeared every 5 cards on the PWCC list. He did. Will S says Barry Sanders is a Jordan level talent, but running back position. So there you go. And Brent is 3 margaritas deep. So yes, agreement is not required. All right, how's the clock looking? It doesn't seem to have slowed down yet. Let's see if there's been any more bids at the top end of the auction. Nothing up there. The Jerry Rice is still at 82.5. The beautiful 53 Topps mantle at 90,000. I love this Patrick Mahomes card. 105. The Michael Jordan Platinum Portrait, $75,000, pop 17. Kobe's, so it went from 60 to 70 tonight. That's nice to see. An Erling Haaland is in the top, the top 9 cards tonight at the moment at $70,000. I do love this, the Hemmett's Journal, Cassius Clay, 55K. Joe Burrow, 65. The duel that we all like on the panel. We're not agreeing on everything tonight, but we're certainly agreeing on this card. The duel of Jordan and LeBron. And do not make a mistake about it. Horizontal cards can be beautiful. And I have several in my collection that I absolutely love, as you both do too, I'm sure. Right, guys?
Totally. I'm hoping to win one tonight, so.
I want to know if Karn has any interest in LeBron cards that are significant that have other people on the card. We haven't talked about that before.
So as of right now, that is not in my checklist.
Okay.
So it's just LeBron in Cavs uniforms. That's it. Autographs only.
I respect that. I would guess that if there's anybody you might make
Jordan. Yeah, Jordan. I'm thinking if I do complete this long endeavor that I have, the next step would be the Jordan LeBron autos. But I'll probably have to win the lottery before that happens. So
I love it.
There's the beautiful Mahomes, flawless, sitting now at 55K. Mbappe out of 10, the field level gold, 52.5, and a 52 Topps mantle, which we haven't really talked about or looked at closely tonight. And this is the version of it that I actually really like more than the other version. And by that, I'm talking about the fact that you baseball guys will know what I'm talking about. The solid line here on the bottom of the Yankees yellow box where the logo is, it has the solid black line. There's a version or a variation that does not have that black line, also does not have the missing pixel, which you see up here in this area here. So this is my preferred variation of the mantle. This one's got some centering issues, as you can easily see, but appropriately graded as a 3, and I'd say a nice 3 overall. Some surface wear in this area here, a little bit up over here as well, but this has held up quite nicely over the years. Nice 3 right there, guys. All right. Justin Jefferson. I saw Mitch made a comment earlier saying he's blown away by what the Justin Jefferson is doing. But that, the hobby is a lot of people that just love prospects, and it's never not been that way. Never not been that way since I've been in the hobby, at least. Young players always getting love, and congrats to Justin Jefferson and the eventual winner of this card. This is my card here, the MJ Jambalaya BGS 95 True Gem Plus, stalled out at $44,000.
Are you happy with that price?
What's that?
Are you happy with that price so far?
As I told someone asked me, maybe Adam asked me that earlier or yesterday. I'm satisfied with it. I'm not ecstatic about it, but I'm certainly satisfied. Like, yeah, it'll do. It's a lot of money.
What's your hope?
My hope is 60.
60. You're close.
Yeah.
No. This is a card that in a lower sub was about $100,000 card not that long ago. But we then it's the exact same thing we were talking about with the Tom Brady. We just saw a lot of them sell close to each other, and it brought that value back down. The thing that I keep going back to on this is I think that people aren't paying the premium that they would have once upon a time for the subs, because the True Gem Plus here is kind of a big deal. So I'm disappointed personally. I thought it would do more than this.
I was just looking at the Justin Jefferson, and it did $8,000 just like 4 months ago. So that's
wow.
Whoever's making that flip, congratulations.
Hey, Karn,
$7,500 in May.
Wow, that's a quick 40K.
Is that I don't know the answer to this. In football, do they have like a black and then a black finite? Are there like multiple black?
No, black finite's the one. I don't know why it's like that, but that's what it is. Yeah. It's kind of like that Giannis year too, right? Like there was the random black finite 1-on-1 rookie.
But they have like Giannis's rookie year. I know he has a regular black. It's just
Does he? I didn't know that. Yeah, I think it's just the black finite for football. I might be wrong though, but I've only ever seen finite.
And that's the same with me. And I don't know why that is the way that it is, because you would like to think that they would just have black across the board and then maybe like a different variation. So when I see the finite, I'm like, oh, is that the real black or is that? But I think you're right. I think it is like the real black card.
I feel like I would have seen the black 1-of-1 Mahomes then, right? Like I only see that finite black version. So that makes me feel confident in that.
All right, back to some on the Babe Ruth. Here is a beautiful card, no doubt. A couple comments here. Collector says, the longer we get away from Brady's playing days, the more iconic he will be, just like how Jordan is almost a mythical creature to us that never actually saw him play, only hear the legendary stories. I saw him play, and boy, oh boy, was he dominant, but it doesn't take someone to having seen him play to make that comment or know about that. But yeah, I hear you. And I think you're right, especially the longer that we don't have someone who replaces him. Mahomes is kind of the hope right now, or will become the next Brady, but he's got a long way to go. Mitch says, I think Joe Montana might be a more apt comparison to MJ if we don't want to compare him to a modern player, because then it's clearly Brady. I don't know. I mean, there's other, there's Montana, Brady. I think about athleticism. I don't know. We're not going to get into that right now, but I don't know that I completely agree, but I don't disagree either. Brent says, oh, let Lee cook here. Let him zoom into the cards and look beyond just the centering. Sign and Slab. Jeremy, are you selling because you've got something else you're going to be after? No, I can let you know that, no, that's not the plan. The proceeds I'm going to receive from these cards that I am selling tonight are being pretty much permanently removed from the hobby. I am permanently taking money out of the hobby. And I'm very okay saying that out loud. Will S. Don't agree on Brady. He was effective, but not a wow guy. I think Duncan, Kobe, Mahomes is the Kobe in this analogy. Mahomes is the Kobe in this analogy. that's a beautiful thing, right? Tons of different opinions and thoughts on these things, on players, on the cards, and no two collections are the exact same. Pretty much, I think unless you're only collecting Topps base sets from whatever decade, no two collections are the same. And that's the beautiful, I love that about our hobby. There's so many different ways to come into it, so many ways to remain in it, so many different things to collect. Meanwhile, Emmitt Smith, also a guy that could be entering these conversations, is at $36,000 for his PMG green. Adam, it looks like you're about to say something.
Oh no, I just agreed with you. I think when you think about the hierarchy of basketball in the 90s, it seems really clear. Football is like maybe less clear to me. Back in the late 90s, I would have said Emmitt was the guy, but it seems like we don't think about him. It feels like you have to name a quarterback almost. But then we think about Rice and we think about Barry Sanders. So I don't know, like Barry Sanders is really interesting because he was the most electric of those guys. But then when he retired, it was so early that he didn't have the Super Bowls and stuff. So it's interesting to think about, where that hierarchy is. What would you guys say? Like if you had to say guys from the 90s, past like the Joe Montana era, but like into this and before obviously Brady and Manning, like that area of like cards from 97, what's the hierarchy there?
Like up to 97?
No, 97 itself. Like, so we're talking about Barry, talking about Favre, talking about Emmitt Smith and John Elway. Like who's the highest of that? Who are like the top 5? Do we know what that looks like?
I think Barry's number 1. I think Jerry Rice is number. I think they're almost interchangeable at the top. They're the top of their position from a hobby perspective and hobby love. Then you've got you Joe Montana. To me, when I think about the best at each position outside of like Tom Brady, I'm thinking Barry Sanders, Jerry Rice, Joe Montana. From when I was watching football in the 80s, that's the triumvirate right there for me. But then it gets a bit, you expand it, right? You expand it into Emmitt Smith, Dan Marino, John Elway, Randy Moss might come up. I mean, there's receivers are tough, right? After Jerry Rice, it's pretty much Randy Moss and then Larry Fitzgerald that comes to mind. And we're not even talking about going back to the Walter Paytons and the Jim Browns and the Staubachs and all these guys, right?
97, right? 97 doesn't include a couple of those guys. Doesn't include Montana, but like it seems to me like when I was just dabbling in football in the late 90s, that like the Cowboys were still just like it, like thinking about Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith. It's interesting that they're not thought of maybe the way that they were then, especially with Emmitt, because if I'm not mistaken, I think he ended up having like a lot of the career type records because he played a long time.
I think you're right. I think that there's a reason why Emmitt just doesn't get the love. I think it's a personality sort of thing. I think it's the way he's perceived by the public that keeps Barry Sanders ahead of him from a hobby love perspective. So,
Vintage card collector agrees with you. Barry, Rice, and then 3 is a coin flip between a lot of guys. But like that's what I'm saying is in basketball, it's like it's MJ, Kobe, and then there's definitely there's the Garnett, Shaq. Shaq's first though. It's like Shaq, Iverson, and Rodman and Garnett. So maybe it is similar. It's just that basketball has like a really super clear top few.
Hot take. I put Shaq above Kobe.
Yeah.
Not for 97 inserts though.
Oh yeah, true.
They're not even close.
Yeah.
But like from a talent perspective, yeah, I get that. And then you could even put Duncan ahead of both those guys too. I think that'd be fine. But not from a collectability perspective.
Yeah, fair.
And football wise here, like vintage, so Emmitt, Brett Favre, Elway. What about Steve Young? I mean, didn't that guy win a couple Super Bowls in San Francisco and kind of have a seamless passing of the torch from Joe Montana to him, and the 49ers didn't miss a beat? Sort of like that's the way I recall it happening back then. There are some great football players. Their careers are shorter. They don't play as many games. there's a few things going on there, but yeah, to me, Will makes a comment here.
Yeah, it's really good.
Emmett was great, but had an amazing line. Nothing to do with personality. Even then, we all saw a big gap in ability between Barry and him. I don't understand what he's saying there. Is he saying that Barry is better or Emmett's better?
He's saying like Barry's amazing because of like what he was able to do despite not having that great line, whereas Emmett was great because he had that line and all that other stuff. I kind of get where he's coming from there, but to me that like it's similar to today where people are like they care about the highlights. Like I think Barry's highlights are very glorified. Like, oh my goodness, watch this. This is incredible. And people love that. And I don't mean negative, something negative when I say glorified. I think he's a really interesting. What's that?
Auction's over.
What ended?
I believe so. I haven't.
Yeah, I got my email for the card I won. So seems
you
like
already got the email.
Yeah, I think so. I got a notification. Yep, you won.
Wow!
So congrats, Karn.
Yeah, $1,000 less than last comps. I'm happy.
There you go. Okay, before we look at the top sellers, let's just go through the rest of these comments here. Been some fun conversation here. Will says you take Montana and Brady and flip them, and you flip the rings. Yeah, fair. Montana had to play in an era where quarterbacks got abused and had short shelf life. No way Brady gets to 40 years old playing in the 1980s. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Will says, no, Steve Young just won one ring. Thanks for correcting me, Will. Like I said, I couldn't remember exactly, but that makes sense. Steve Young was fun to watch. Dave says, it needs to be said, some of y'all don't know Bo. Yeah, Bo.
But he didn't.
Jackson.
We were talking about 97. He doesn't exist in that year, to be fair to us.
Yeah. I know Bo, Dave. I know Bo and love Bo Jackson. Kansas City Royals. Where did he play football again? None of us know. Come on. Who did he play football for?
I don't have any idea.
I can see the card. Lions? I can see the card. It's blue.
I should know, but I don't know.
First edition Shadowless Charizard PSA 10 sold for $8K on PWCC back in 2016. Does 240. 240 tonight. Vintage says, how bad are the Lions even with Barry? JFK has still only missed one Lions playoff win. That's right.
Played for the Raiders.
Of course. Thank you, guys. The Raiders. Of course, the Raiders. We knew that.
I said Raiders. No one heard me, but it's
Did
okay.
you? I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you.
Well, I imagine him in what are the two most famous Bo shots, right? It's the tops traded, and it's the shot where you don't get a jersey. And so like nothing came into my mind, and I went, why am I having this stupid moment? But then you hear Raiders, and you're like, oh yeah.
The Michael Jordan Gold Ink Auto sells for $144,000. One of my favorite cards in the auction, the Mahomes Gold Vinyl, does 126. 53 Topps Mantle PSA 8 does 108. Hey, look at it. The Jerry Rice what did we hear it sold for before? 160. It did 100 this time. 99,000. That's a fall down, but it's we've seen worse topples than that. The Platinum Portrait Michael Jordan does $90,000. The Kobe PMG Red 84, and the Haaland 84. The Joe Burrow 78, the dual Jordan LeBron 81, and the Hemet's Cassius does $66,000. Mahomes Flawless 66, Mbappe 63, the beautiful PSA, and it is a beautiful Mickey Mantle card. This PSA 3 version does 57.6. The Justin Jefferson outsells the Jordan Jambalaya by about 5K. 57.6 versus 52.8 for my Jordan Jambalaya. It was nice owning you, but I hope you enjoy your new home. I think I know who's winning this one or who won it, and congratulations to you. Nice to somewhat keep it in the, I won't say keep it in the family because it's not family, but keep it in the world of collectors that I know. Babe Ruth does 52.8. The LeBron, mine and Adam's favorite LeBron card, does 50.4. Jordan rookie card, BGS 9548, and the 2012 Prism case unopened does $45,600. What a great unit item that is, right, Adam? I mean, come on, that's an amazing. I think as far as like investing in unopened wax goes, that might be one of the best. You know, you got '03 Exquisite, maybe any Exquisite basketball, but as far as basketball products since since 2010, that's got to be it, right?
Jeremy, you were good to ask Karn how he felt about his win. I think Karn and I are probably both wondering the same thing. How are you feeling right now? Today was a big day for you.
I haven't really reviewed everything. I'm going to be fine with whatever happened. You know, when you sell cards like this, you've got to be fine. I haven't really reviewed. I don't even know how I did.
How'd your hockey do? I'm curious about that.
We should honestly, Jeremy, I would personally, Jeremy, love to see you go through them right now. I don't know if you're up for that, but like, I'd love to see how you feel about your 10. Some of them, I think some of them really rallied there in the last hour. But I don't know if you're feeling great or if you're feeling like they're sort of just in the range that you were thinking or.
Well, let's see. So the Hot Shot seems to have set a new all-time record. The last one did, I think, 24, 25, or 26. So I'm going to miss it. But I'm happy with
the record. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy with that one. The Jambalaya or the Champ Hardware 34. Yeah, I was hoping for 30, so happy with that one. The Jambalaya, I really wanted to hit 60 grand. So I'm still okay. Like, listen, I bought it in January of 2020. So if you go back, you know that I have to look at that. I'm a glass half full guy, Adam. So hey, listen, glass half empty, I could have got 125 grand for it 2 years ago. Yeah, glass half full, I made money on the card. I'm gonna miss it, but I'm gonna listen. Everything happens when it happens, and I'm not one to look back and cry about spilt milk. I'm at the end of the day, I'm gonna be very happy. This money is gonna go to good things for me and my family. So I'm happy about it. So that one there was mine. So we've been through 3 of them so far. Let's see so this Ovechkin was mine, 25-2. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think the all-time high is like 45 or so. I'm very happy with that. Whereas the McDavid 23-1, I turned down an offer of 31 Canadian for this back at the Edmonton Expo. So once I get my payout and convert it, I probably would have done better taking 31. But who knows? I mean, probably only a couple grand difference, Canadian even. So I'm not upset about that.
Adam Rips is pointing out that you're not screen sharing. I'm not sure if you were intending to screen share though.
Oh, thanks. Finally, someone says it. Thank you. Sometimes I don't even realize.
I was like, he's gonna just go through these. I'm not sure. So my bad. I should have said something to you.
No, okay, no. Thanks, thank you, Adam. Thank you, Adam Rips. Appreciate you for shutting. So let's just quickly go through this one. Yeah, I wanted it to sell for 60, but I'm happy. I'm well in the black on that right there. The Champ Hardware here. Very happy with this one. I think I 10x'd my money on this card, and I don't think I could have asked for more on it. So very happy with that one. This one here, I think I got this card for $600 or something like that. So I mean, what am I going to say? I'm sad about it. I mean, no. This card is this. I think maybe 2,600. I forget exactly, but
40 extra money. I mean, and
I think I do. Let me check. Let me actually.
You enjoyed it.
I have. I took down a. Hold on a second. I made notes on what I'm into. Some of these. I'm not going to share all my private information on this, but I will share some of this with all of you guys. So let me just find my information on that, and I'll let you know what I paid for a couple of these cards. So the Hot Shots. What was that at? I think I'm into that one for. I didn't put the name of the cards. I just had them listed here.
You should be a CPA for sure.
Yeah, the Hot Shots. I think I I don't know. I might have 40x'd my money on that card. I don't know. It's hard for me to tell. Just because I had them by value and now the values have all moved, so I can't tell anymore. The Ovechkin at 25-2, yeah, I know what I paid. I paid $1,600 for that card. I mean, I'm not upset about that. This card I paid $680 for.
Oh my God! So you're early on that card. You were 2016 on that card, eh?
Yeah, I bought that card pretty early, so I'm okay with that. I mean, listen, if I could have got more for it, great, but I'm not gonna complain. Like I'd be an idiot to complain about that. The next card of mine, like all these cards, I did well on. This one here at 16 grand, I think I'm into that for under $1,000. I wish I could tell you. Maybe I can. Maybe I can try and figure this out quickly.
I can tell you, I sold my silver. It was a BGS 9.5, but it was True Gem Plus. It probably was a PSA 10. And I think I got $650 for mine. So sounds about right.
Yeah, I think I'm into this one here. I think I'm into the finest embossed for, I think that one is, sorry guys, I know this is all awkward. I think it was $840 I paid for that card.
That's the worst of the bunch, only 20x. Come on, Jeremy.
No, I mean, listen, people love, people say you can't, you can't, they're not investments. You can't make money in cards. I've been doing this for 40 years. You can, you just have to have a long enough horizon. If you have a long enough horizon, you can make money on sports cards. You can invest in sports cards. Anyone tells me they're not investments. This one here, the Crosby, actually, that's one I should be able to find easier because these were all grouped together on my list here.
Jeremy,
yeah, the Crosby I'm into for $816.
12x. So while you find the next one, the thing that I think is the best thing to think about here is obviously the multiple and the investment has been incredible. But the best part to me is that you loved the cards. You got to enjoy them for a time. They were part of your collection, some of these for 10 years. And that's the best, man. When you have something that you love, that you learn about, that you like, can build relationships with other people who have similar things. And then in the end, you also do really well and moving on to something that's important for your family. Like I know I guarantee you I speak for 99% of the people out there. We just say like, good job. Like it's amazing for you and congratulations. I couldn't be happier for you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I do. And I'm gonna miss some of these cards, but I'm totally at peace with it. I've got lots of cards left. I've got lots of great cards left, and I'm at complete peace. I right now I have zero seller's remorse. If the jambalaya gets flipped next month, my exact card gets flipped next month for 80 grand. I'm gonna wish I waited a month, but I can't time things perfectly. I'm not good at timing things very well, so we'll see. But listen, and if that happens, congratulations to the owner or the next person to sell one. Like congratulations. But yeah, I've enjoyed these cards. I'll miss the hot shots, the jambalaya, the finest embossed refractor. I'm not going to miss the championship hardware so much. I know it's a really important card, but it's just not one that I ever truly just loved it. So I'm okay letting that one go. The East-West, I can replace it easily for 10% of the price for a card that looks almost the exact same. So I'm not, pick up a PSA 8 or an 8.5, maybe a 9. I'm okay with that one. And then the SP Authentic Future Watch Autos, I mean, those are dear to me, but I have so many cards of these guys. Autos, auto patches, rare inserts, PMGs, greens. I'm going to be just fine, like thinking about not owning those cards anymore. And I've never really taken money out of the hobby. Like I've never really done this before. Every time I've sold cards, it just gets spent back in. Always redeployed into cardboard. And this is the first time where I'm deliberately pulling money out. And it's not because of the market or where the hobby's at. It's a family decision. And there's nothing wrong in my family. Everyone's happy, healthy. Relationships are all intact. It's just something that, I'm doing for the family to for our reasons. And yeah, I'm happy about it. I'm excited, and I'm happy for the new owner, Adam. You know how it is, Karn. You do too. These cards are a lot. And this is I love my kids more than anything. But we consider our cards. Some of us consider our cards to be like our babies. I hear a lot of my buddies saying, "These are that's my baby. It's my baby." Me too. These cards are our babies. As superficial and just like weird as that sounds, as materialistic as that can sound, they are. We love these things for our own reasons. And yeah, I'll miss a couple of these babies, but I've got hundreds of others that are going to keep me very happy and busy and enjoying. And I'm not going anywhere in the hobby, of course, like ever. Like I'm a lifer. So anyway, this is fun. This is my first time since selling these cards and since taking money out of the hobby that I'm able to reflect on and talk about it with you guys and with 100 people in the room right now. It's fun. So I do appreciate all the support I've had in the past few days since I made it known that I was moving some cards. And when I get out of here and I add up my total proceeds and I see what kind of money I'm bringing in and how that's going to impact the family. And I know I have an idea what it is. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
I think that was really well said, and it was really fun to just sort of be here, to be able to watch you sort of feel your way through like what it feels like to sell the cards and to get the money that's important for you and your family, but also to feel like you're letting the cards go, and sort of to describe some of that. It made me think of how each one of us has had to let go of cards in our lives, and they go and they have a story after that. And sometimes you get to sort of follow the story. It's kind of cool that you know who maybe won the jambalaya, because that, the sense that I get, that's the hardest one for you to have let go. Maybe that's just wishful thinking on my part, but
yeah, it's got to be the hardest one, Adam. And I mean, you and I have bonded over that card. I mean, we've you helped me decide. I wanted the card before, but seeing yours in hand is like, all right, I got to get one of these. So I did, and got it from a great collector who I'm sure is happy for me that and if it's going to go, if the person, I'm trying to see if the guy I think bought it actually bought it, and I'm not seeing any message from him right now saying that he did. Do you know, Adam, if he bought it?
Well, I asked you about it at one point when it was at 44, and I said, how high, just the same question that Karn asked you, like, how high do you think this will go? You were like, I'd like to see it go a little bit more, but and at that point you said, but if it doesn't, what's kind of cool is so-and-so texted me today and said that he's winning. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, that would be really neat.
Yeah, I forget if he said he bid 42 or 44. That's why I'm not 100% certain if he bought the card.
But the great thing is you get to watch it sort of go on, and you'll always have this, you had the card, but now it gets to go sort of, it's weird that we say it like this, but it gets to go have its other life. And it reminds me of, so MK Sports Cards, two of the best cards that I've ever sold. I sold both of them to him. And every time he shows them off, I feel a couple of things. I feel like I remember what it was like owning them. And I feel like, why did I let those go? But I also feel like they went to the right collection. And, there's something that's kind of sweet about that. That's kind of cool that maybe we don't talk about a lot. So I hope that it stays with people that you know. What's hard is then when it goes places you don't know, and you just sort of have to say goodbye, but that happens too. And I guess that's fine sometimes.
That's fine too. If it happens, it happens. They are just cards. They are replaceable for the most part. Eventually, most cards can be replaced. One-on-ones are tough and all that. But a couple of comments that have come in. David Kaplan, thank you for the congratulations. Same to you, Eric. Thank you, David. Appreciate that. CC, congrats, Jeremy. Time to start looking for a nice 52 mantle. I would love a nice 50. Trust me, there were cards tonight I would love to buy with these proceeds, but not right now. Not right now. Michael Thomas says, super happy for you. Good things happen to good people with your sales. your YouTube podcast, and all things that you're a part of. Happiness is contagious. Michael, that's a great comment because I love all this stuff. I love everything that I'm doing in the hobby, being a part of it. All you guys in the chat, you guys on the screen with me. This is the place I want to be. This is exactly where I want to be. So I appreciate that comment, Michael. That really means a lot. Will S says, it sounds like selling a house, just looking for some emotional connection to the next owner. Yeah, that's right. Or, and this is a humongous leap here, so don't take it like literally, but when you put a baby up for adoption, I've never done this. I'm sure somebody watching has. You want the best for it. A kid is not a card. I get it. But it's like when you have a card. I once sold my childhood Mario Lemieux rookie card. Bought it in 1986 for 25 cents. I had it graded in 2008 by PSA, came back in 8, and I sold it at the Toronto Expo. I don't remember when, sometime in the last 10 years. And it was really hard to let go. The guy who bought it from me, I put this customer through the ringer at my booth. I said, okay, I need to know what kind of collection it's going into. What other cards do you have? What grades are they in? What do you do? Where do you live? Like, I was like, and the card I probably sold for under $1,000 at the time. But I had to know where it was going because this was I owned this card. What is that? That's almost 30 years I owned the card for. Yeah. It was like a child to me, just a piece of freaking cardboard. I get it, but that's what I was going. I did not want to let this thing go to just anybody, and I wouldn't have sold it to just anybody. You had to qualify to buy that card for me. Now, I don't feel that strongly about all my cards, but tonight's cards, I didn't have that strong attachment to any of them like I did that card because I haven't owned any of these as long. But I can tell you, Adam, there's a different, and Karn, there's a bit of a difference there, right? Because the Lemieux I owned since I was a kid. It was a solo pursuit, being a collector from, the early 80s for me up until 10 or 12 years ago. And now it's all community based, right? We're sharing our pickups with each other. We're putting them on Instagram. We're streaming ourselves, buying and selling cards. Some people are doing that. Like we're sharing our collection, and there's so much value to that, like emotional value to that, because knowing that I owned that jambalaya and Adam owned one and a couple other friends had one, that's like a fraternity. It is. And there's value in that. That's the community, the fraternity in it. Like I always, when someone posts a card on Instagram and it's a rare card, like out of 10, let's say, and I own one, my comment is awesome card, love it. We're card bros. We're card bros. I want to have lots of card bros, And if we're card bros on a rare, and not a Young Guns or a Topps Update Trout or a Jordan rookie, but if we're card bros on a rare card, and then we move that card, not only do you lose your baby, you lose your card bro as well.
So you're saying we're not card bros anymore? Is that what just happened, Jeremy?
Well, we're bros, but do we have any? Listen, I got to go through your collection and see what other card we have in common.
We don't. That was the one, and but that we've probably gotten a little bit too sentimental for the chat. I don't know, but I love it, dude. I love it.
The chat numbers are going up. We went from we dipped under 100. Now we're back over 100. So let's go to. Okay, we'll wrap up though. It's late for you guys. Signed Classic says signed vintage is king, and that seems to be the latest. I don't call it a trend, but that's where there's a big spotlight on that right now. And if the spotlight is on kings, then right now I agree. Signed Classic cards, it is definitely king right now. He says, have guys noticed what signed vintage has been doing, and what are your thoughts? Yeah, it's everywhere, right? I can't go on Instagram and not see stuff about it. So it's having a moment for sure right now. Will it continue to? No. Sorry, let me rephrase. Will it continue indefinitely to? I don't think so. I'm not saying it's not going to endure in value, but it's right now. And if you watch anything over the last 5 years, everything is having its moment, and it's vintage signed cards right now. But it might be the best one. It might have the best chance at enduring longest.
I love Nahuggins's comment. Oh, you're going down.
Sorry. Let me get there. Thank you though, Adam. Chris Macri, when I sell a card I really love on eBay, I Google the address to see its new home. That's great. That's great. That's why I use the PO box for my Michael Thomas says, "Have a great night, guys. Cheers to a great weekend, and can't wait to see the videos of the upcoming Burbank show. I will be there. And one of the things I'm planning to do at the Burbank show, guys, is actually do a walkthrough of just the showcases, like a total walkthrough of the show. I'm hoping to get that done. So probably be an Instagram thing, not a YouTube, but you never know. Currency Project, great story. Totally know that feeling. Curious what you would like to own. Curious. Would you like to own that exact Lemieux rookie card again at some point? Darn straight I would, Currency Pro. I regret selling that Lemieux. I would love to have it back. Even though I've got a nicer copy now, I would love to have my childhood copy back. So yes.
Is that
I do regret it, but not to the point where I'm losing sleep over. Like, I'm okay, but I'd love to get it back if I could.
Okay, I gotta ask this real quick. Question, both to you and Karn.
Yeah.
What is and Jeremy, specifically to you, is that the card that you regret selling most in your sort of collecting career? Karn, what's the card that you regret selling the most?
Karn, you want to go first?
For me, it's Austin Matthews Golden Treasures Auto 101. That's the one card where I'm like, and when I sold it, I knew 10 years later it was going to be the one. So it was like a situation where I knew it was going to be the one I'll always regret, and I regret it to this day.
That's a good one. So I figured out what mine would be. There was a time I remember I was set up at the Toronto Expo, probably 2008 or 9. I had 3 Crosby Cup RPAs out of 99 and 2 Ovechkins. I owned all of them. I've owned 5 of the Crosbys and 4 or 5 of the Ovies, but at one point I had 3 Crosby Cups and 2 Ovechkin Cups. And I don't own any of them anymore. Those are now in the tens and tens of thousands. And yeah. I think the most I ever sold one for was like 16 grand, maybe something like that. So yeah, those would be my.
I mean, 5 is huge. It's a lot of copies of that card.
Yeah. I've owned 5 Crosbys in my life, but at once the most I had was 3. So yeah, that's a regret. I have a couple. Listen. I have some wins tonight, but I've got losses, like we all do. We all have got losses. It's but I think my wins are bigger. Like lifetime, my wins well outweigh my losses. So, but I've been been in it a long time, and I've held cards for decades, not months or weeks, but decades. So, like a lot of people.
Awesome answers. Huggins' answer is good too. He's got a Barry Sanders green that he sold that was tough. But I love hearing those stories. Thanks, guys.
Huggins question. Congrats, Jeremy. Can't believe you let the Jambalaya go. We should be tracking that one on the blockchain. Would be fun to follow as it trades hands. Yeah, for sure. I think that's provenance is underrated. I think in the modern day hobby, sure. There's people who I would love to own certain cards. I value them more depending on who owned them in the past. Mm-hmm. Not like I put a lot more money into them, but to me, they're more special based on who owned them before. And I also want to know who owns my cards after. So yeah, putting cards on the blockchain from a provenance perspective is something I think is a really cool future potential type of tracking mechanism and all that. And the Huggins' biggest regret, Barry Sanders PMG green. Yeah, that would hurt for sure. Brent won the green Marshall Falk tonight. Congratulations, Brent.
That's a value find right there. That's one
Pareto card. That's a Pareto card for sure. All right, guys, we still got 88 strong in the chat, but we're gonna wrap this up. We've been going on for 3 hours and 38 minutes. I do want to thank everybody for joining us. Thank you, everybody who, if you're out there and you bid on any of my cards, you bid on any cards tonight. Thank you for doing that. This is fun. Adam and I we're going to keep on doing these premiere shows. Karn is going to, as long as he's available, keep on joining us for the as our special guest, joining us later on because he's a busy man down there. And looking forward to the Burbank show, everybody. Adam, you're not coming. Karn, you're not coming. So let me ask you this before we let you guys go. What's the next show you'll be at, Adam?
National 2024.
Cleveland.
I'd like to come to one more. I haven't planned it yet.
Come to an expo. Come to the Toronto Expo in November. Make sure you have a passport.
If I was gonna go to anything, it would probably be Burbank. It's like an hour and a half for me. Flight.
Yeah, you're not the hockey. You have really very little interest in hockey. I understand that. Almost no interest. Karn, how about you? Next show for you?
I'm gonna go to those newer Montreal shows, the Card Fest show and the new Anti Expo show. Is it still called Anti Expo? What's it called?
This hobby sport expo, sport hobby. It's basically French translated to English, so it's a little wonky, but it's like this hobby sport expo, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, it'll be my first time in a Montreal show, and I heard they're pretty good, so I can't wait. And Adam, next national, make sure that we see each other.
I know, man. Somebody told me where you were. They told me you were at the tag booth. I went by once and you weren't there. And I was like, now it is. Like there were more people who I didn't run into the national than I did who I wanted to. It was so crazy.
It's so huge. It was a little maze down there, but next year for sure we got to coordinate something.
Next year for sure.
Currency Project says, where is the best place to stay for the expo? There's like 24 hotels in the immediate vicinity. Any of them, really. I don't really have one in particular. I do like the DoubleTree because I love those cookies you get when you check in. They're nice and warm. The DoubleTree is pretty nice, but everything's right there. I shouldn't say right there. Like they're not walking distance, but they're anywhere from a 2-minute drive to a 10-minute drive. And there's tons of hotels right there. So just check out the expo website. And Abdul, I think that'll help you out as well. So, but if you really want to know, send me a DM on Instagram. I'll give you a better answer. All right, guys. Adam, you good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm just happy for you. Good job tonight.
Thanks, man. Karn, you're good?
Good, man. Congrats on the sales.
Hey, thank you. Congrats on your purchase. Chat guy, everybody, again, thank you for joining us tonight. This was a lot of fun, as it always is. And we're not going to talk about, we will never talk about what card is better, the Brady Contenders or the Bowman Chrome Refractor. No, Adam, we can't talk about that anymore. He's beating me up to the screen. All right, guys, thanks for joining. And this episode of the PWCC Premier Auction live watch party is now over.